And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency. A thing I totally understand. 1010. I am money. Cha-ching. Beep boop $.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's your turn to stay and play at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Enjoy award-winning hotels, dining, and live entertainment. Play the newest slots and classic table games. Check out the state's largest poker room. And don't miss our world-famous bingo hall. Turning Stone is the perfect gaming getaway. And the next big winner might be you. Turning Stone Resort Casino. It's your turn.
If you're in need of concrete driveways, sidewalks, foundation repair, it's Brank Construction. This is Bill Keeler. Masonry and concrete work, stairs, cellarway entrances, basement floors, garage floors. Call Brank today. They'll get the job done right and right on time. 315-894-3481. Located in Frankfort, but servicing all of upstate New York. Stone walls repaired, built, retaining walls, and, of course, concrete driveways and sidewalks. If it's concrete or masonry work, there's nobody any better than Brank Construction. Call them today. 315-894-3481. 315-894-3481 for Brank Construction.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Bill is not with us this morning. In fact, he'll be gone off for a couple of days, I should say. But we'll have a couple of guest hosts sitting in, and I'm very pleased to introduce our first guest host this week. It is Ben Simons, a local farmer who we spoke to on many occasions. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Very good. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, and I just want you to know that I'm very honored to be your co-host this morning.
Oh, thank you.
And with an emphasis of agriculture today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to have several guests on in the ag vein, if you will.
Yep, and we got some really good hosts calling in today. We're going to have Beth Irons from the Cornell Cooperative Extension, and she runs the Oneida County Farmers Markets all around the county. She's kind of the go-to person. And then a little bit later in the morning, Tim Kramer. I know Bill's been right after me about about the offensive odor of cow manure. So we tracked down Tim Kramer, and he's going to be calling in a little later this morning. And then Audrey Donahoe. She's actually in Colorado at a dairy summit meeting. She is the president of the Northeast Dairy Association, where the Got Milk campaign that everybody talks about and you see on TV at times.
Sure.
And so she's going to give us an update on what's going on with the Got Milk program. And I know there's been a lot of concern with the farmers because they contribute to a fund based on per 100 pounds of milk or per pound of milk. And there's been a lot of concern about where the money's been going. So Audrey's going to help us out with that. And then at 8 o'clock, the Commissioner of New York Agriculture, Richard Ball. He's a very good friend of mine, and he's a friend of agriculture here. But the main thing about Richard Ball is he is a farmer. and then he got chosen to be Commissioner of Agriculture. So he has a big, large following and very respected in the ag community.
Sure.
And then 8:30 or so, we have Marty Broccoli from the Ag Economic Development from Cooperative Extension calling in. And we're going to get right into all the things that are happening, because we all talk about economic development in Oneida County, all sorts of things. You got the hospitals going on. You got Nexus down there. You've got all kinds of Wolf Speed up on the hill in Marcy.
Sure.
But the quiet one out there in the community is agriculture.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of things going on in the agriculture world. So, yeah, we got quite a lineup this morning, Jeff. And, again, thank you for having me in.
Absolutely. Thanks for agreeing to do it. You're an interesting guy, and you're a great spokesperson for the ag community. So I figured we would be more than happy to dedicate a program to talking about ag in our area and how important it is. You talk about the economic development component. Now, let me ask you a couple. We'll begin with some basic things,
Sure.
For instance, being on the air, on the radio at 6 o'clock in the morning, what time do you usually wake up for a farmer?
I'm getting late in my old age.
So what's that, 4:30, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, no, I used to be a 6 o'clock person.
Yeah.
It's a trade-off. If you get up at 6 in the morning, you start your chores at 6 at night, 5 to 6 at night. The farmers, they get up at 4 in the morning. They do their farm work in the morning. Usually by 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 in the afternoon, they're done. The farm is all shut right down.
Sure.
And I'm a trade-off. I'm a 6:30 kind of guy. I get up, but then it's a trade-off. At night, when you drive by my farm at 7, 8 o'clock at night, the lights are on in the barn. So I like to utilize the day. And not only am I a dairy farmer, I have a very extensive firewood logging business. I log on the side, and I have a very extensive market for firewood here in the Mohawk Valley. The end of the day is precious to me. That's when everybody's home to receive the deliveries for their firewood or delivery of hay. I sell quite a lot of hay to horse customers in the local area. And so if I started my farm chores at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when everybody's getting home from work. It just doesn't work on my farm. So being diversified that I am, I'm a 6:30 guy. And that's how I do it. And I do have to give a shout out. Sometimes I do sleep in. And I have a good friend of mine, you know who he is, the sheriff, Rob Mashel. He'll call me every morning and say, Ben, you got to get going. Or we'll talk about the weather of the day, like we've been inundated with water. Oh, my goodness. I know you on Channel 2 News, they talked about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain in the area. Yesterday on Star Hill, we got 3 inches of rain.
Oh, no kidding.
In the Steuben area. Yep, I have a rain gauge. Yesterday afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was in sheets, just sheets and sheets and sheets of water. My driveway washed out, the road, Star Hill Road coming down, all the gravel washed out of the ditch across the road. We didn't lose any roads that I'm aware of up in our part of the world, but I'll tell you what, we did not need that. Back in May, when I was in, we were having a drought. Remember?
We were.
It was all dry, and we were out disking and planting the corn and the soybeans, and there's like 8 or 10 feet between the tractor and the planter behind the tractor. When it was so dry that you couldn't even see the planter behind the tractor.
This is all just kicking up dust.
Dust. And if you didn't have a tractor with a cab, you were really sick at night because of the dust getting in your lungs and your nose, give you migraines and everything else. And everyone kept saying, boy, we need some water. We need some rain. We need some rain. And I used to tell all my neighbor farmers, say, hey, easy now, because sometimes when it starts to rain, it don't know enough to shut off. Well, Here we are.
Yep.
And so with the rain that we got yesterday here in the Mohawk Valley, even though I see on the TV there that we're going to have a day and a half or so of sunshine before the next real chance of rain, there's very few farmers that are going to be able to do anything because the ground is so saturated.
Yeah.
If you can't mow your lawn, we can't cut the hay in our fields.
Sure.
And it's just been from one extreme to the other.
Well, and let me ask you, because, Smitty was saying he's got to get home. Smitty, let me turn you up here. Smitty, you're trying to mow today, right?
I'm going to try to mow today.
I don't know. It's pretty wet, but I don't know if you're going to get any mowing done. And if you do, you better clean the bottom of that mower because otherwise it's going to plug up on you.
Yeah, maybe I'll wait until either tomorrow to do it, to give it a day to dry out.
So let me ask you, Ben, for the average homeowner, you say, oh, I can't mow today because it's a little wet. What does the farmer do on a day you had planned to to hay a field or to do something with the crops, what do you do instead when it's either raining all day or it's so wet that you can't mow?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So most farmers, when
You guys
they have
play
a,
cards, right? You guys have
Right.
a big card game?
No, they don't. They actually catch up on some sleep because when it does turn good weather, 15, 16-hour days, going till 10, 11 o'clock at night, chopping hay, baling hay, putting it in the barn. Like we did here last week. We had 2 really, really good days, 2.5 really good days. One of them days was a heat index of like 100. But we had to push through it and put hay in and bale hay, chop hay. And most of us went till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So we were running on 3-4 hours worth of sleep. And and then when you get a day like yesterday, I'm going to be honest with you. On my farm, Ben Simons crashed.
Yeah.
I did. I hit the chair after morning chores and watched it rain and enjoyed my grandson. I got a brand new grandson at home on the farm.
Congratulations.
3rd-generation farmer coming right along.
Uh-huh.
And we crashed. So most farmers, when you get rainy days like yesterday, usually they're in the shops working, retuning up their equipment, adjusting things, building things, fixing equipment, getting ready for the next big run. Even though we had that 80, 90-degree weather there a few days ago, my neighbors up there, they grabbed a lot of their second cutting hay, and then they went right back out on the fields and the very next day, and they spread liquid manure. And so Steuben Valley had quite a aroma to it.
Yeah, sure.
That we're going to talk to Mr. Kramer about. But today, with all the rain we got yesterday, it washed that right into the ground. The aroma's not there. I come by this morning, I rolled down my window, and all that smell of manure is gone. It's washed right into the ground.
Now, do you cap that with hay? You put hay on top of that typically or no?
Hay grows.
Yeah, okay.
Hay grows. Liquid manure is actually a very, 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 very good balance of a fertilizer for grass and corn.
Okay.
It just recycles. It's manure from the cows.
Sure.
And then we reapply it back to the land to put nutrients back on the land to make more hay grow, more corn grow. And the Oneida County Soil and Water has an agronomist on duty, and they have what they call a CAFO plan. And what the CAFO plan is where an agronomist comes onto the farm every year. They take soil samples of every single field on the farm, and then they do a prescription of how much of that manure you need to put per acre without contaminating water or the ditches or a neighbor's well. And different crops require different nutrients, different amounts of nutrients.
Sure.
And so they put a prescription. I know it sounds funny, but it's a prescription. Anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 gallons the acre, like on hay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. To corn. Corn will take 12,000 to 15,000 gallons, depending on the fertility of the ground and the type of corn you're trying to grow. So us farmers really, like I've said in the past, us farmers really don't like it when we spread our manure and you can smell it. One, we know it's offensive. We know it, but it's reality. It's part of the program. But at the end of the day, what you're smelling is the nitrogen and the nitrates being evaporated up into the air.
It's a waste almost.
It's a waste. You're losing it.
You're losing it, exactly.
And so farmers, when they know there's
It's
rain...
a waste of the waste is what it is, right?
I like it. And so the farmers, they're looking for that rainy day.
Sure.
And when they see that rain is coming, they'll go out and lather their fields right off with it so that rain that we got yesterday washes it in the ground and the fertility rises. And then that third cutting hay, because a lot of guys are done with second cutting, they'll get a third cutting here in August. And that's just vibrant. It's just, it's very, very nutritious for the soils. So yep.
Let me follow up to talk about the weather that we've had in this immediate history, I guess I'll say. When it was real dry, in the month of May and maybe part of June, what does that change any of the crops, any of your growing season? Does it make you reassess what you're planning for that season? Because typically the spring is a wetter season, but it was very dry and warm this spring, and now we're into the summer season. It's almost like we got an early summer, and in this summer season so far, it's been quite wet. It's been hot, but it hasn't been very dry. So does that change any plans for a farmer? Do you have to reassess or do something different based on if the season's not quite what you expected?
Yes, absolutely yes. So most of us farmers order our seeds to be planted when we're harvesting this fall, like in September, October, November, and December, harvesting our corn crop and the soybeans, we'll be ordering our new crop seeds for next year, for 2024. And you take a spring like we had, everybody got on the land early. That meant they had a longer growing season, which means it would mature longer and there'd be more production per acre, more tons of product per acre. Corn, soybeans, wheat, doesn't matter. But when you have an extended dry period like we had this spring, that little seed gets in the ground and sits there, stagnant, because there's no moisture to swell that seed up to make it germinate.
Sure.
You need that moisture. So it was becoming a concern that, oh my God, we're going to go in an extended dry period. That seed is sitting there. So it's no different than planting a short day seed that won't mature because the genes in that seed were meant to be 108 days, 100-day corn to grow for 100 days.
Sure.
And if you lose 30, 40 days, let's just say a dry period for 30 days like we had there in May and June, that meant that seed just sat there for 30 days or got stunted. And so us farmers are up against Mother Nature. She holds the upper hand. But there's one thing that we're not talking about that influenced a lot of the farmers, and we don't know the magnitude just yet. We will at the end of the year, and that's all the smoke that came out of Canada.
Yeah.
Days after day after day of it filtering that ultraviolet red light that comes through the sunlight coming into the plants growing on the ground. That smoke filtered them. And so we saw that some of our crops slowed down. And I know some of the people that really manage lawns, they'll tell you that even though we were getting a little bit of rain, that smoke slowed the growth down of grasses and different things. And we noticed it on our farm. So the smoke had an impact. So this is me talking, I'm a practical farmer. But I think when we get to harvesting our crops in the fall, and we do the tests on our crops to find out how much protein and energy and the micronutrients that are in that crop, I think we're going to find that the energy levels in all them crops that were exposed to that smoke are going to be less because you didn't have the sun with the photosynthesis coming through that bright sunshine to make the energy.
Gotcha.
It's early yet. It's still early yet to know, but it did have some sort of an impact. We did see that. And people don't realize that. The smoke is like, oh, I can't see anything. It's bad. But the farmers were really concerned about that, and we still are.
We're talking this morning, our guest host, Ben Simons, an Oneida County farmer who you hear on the program from time to time. He's got some predictions that he's made in the past when we were going through inflation about what products might be tougher to get a hold of and the cost
very expensive.
Yeah, and what costs were going up. So, Ben, you're obviously very familiar to our audience. Ben is our guest host today, and we've got some ag-related guests coming up. We'll talk about other things as well. A quick timeout. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. And I think if I took my notes correctly from Bill, I think we're up on YouTube this morning for our video audience, so you can check that out as well. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Hi, I'm Max Carbone with Power Sports of Utica. For the month of July, we are offering 1.99% on all 2023 non-cab Can-Am side-by-side models and up to $1,500 off Kawasaki jet ski models only at Power Sports of Utica.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson of Utica. 50% off of all footwear. 40% off of all camp chairs, table sets. Buy one, get one, 75% off of hoodies. And Bike Night, July 14th. Plenty of cold refreshments.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Attention business owners. Was your company impacted during COVID? If you had W-2 employees during 2020 and 2021, you may be entitled for up to $26,000 per employee through the Employee Retention Credit Program. This is not alone. The IRS paid back billions already. We've helped thousands of businesses just like yours. So let us help you. At ERC Business Solutions, we make it simple. We do it all for you, so you won't have to worry about the complex application process. There's absolutely no risk. If you don't get paid, we don't get paid. Most businesses do qualify, even those with no decline in revenues or those that already got PPP. Discover how much you can claim. There's no cost or obligation. Call now, 800-281-9981. That's 800-281-9981. Get up to $26,000 per employee. Call 800-281-9981. 800-281-9981.
Life happens, and at Mohawk Valley FCU, we are here to help you through life's ups and downs. It's not always easy. Life isn't perfect, and that's why Mohawk Valley FCU goes above and beyond for their members. With higher interest accounts, superior service, easy loan approvals, and so much more. With locations on River Road in Marcy, in the State Office Building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you'll receive the best service no matter where you are. Become a new member today. Mohawk Valley FCU. Member focused, member driven. For membership information requirements, visit mohawkvalleyfcu.org.
The Rome Capitol Theater presents...
I'm Tevye, a poor milkman trying to provide for his beautiful daughters and his lovely bride Golda. And how do we survive? That I can tell you in one word: tradition!
The Rome Capitol Theater presents the summer stage production of the musical Fiddler on the Roof, Thursday, July 13th through Saturday, July 15th. Advance sale tickets for Fiddler on the Roof are on sale at the Capitol Theater box office and online at romecapital.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
That's exactly right, Smitty. Back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. I do think the YouTube stream is up, and in fact, we heard from the big guy, Mr. Keeler, that the stream is working this morning. So we say good morning to Bill. Hope you're having a great time. Ben Simons is in as our guest host this morning, and I've got an interesting story for you. Well, at least I think this is interesting. And when I say interesting, I think I might mean stupid here. Here's the story. And you know what Crocs are?
I do.
Okay,
I know what
they're
Crocs
like
are.
Comfortable shoe. As a matter of fact, my son, he's 7 now. This year, his big thing was, Dad, I got to get some Crocs. I want a pair of white Crocs. I got to have these white Crocs, right? So ultimately, he got a pair of white Crocs. And then the next thing he said to me was, I need some charms. And I'm like, well, what do you mean charms? He goes, they're Croc charms. To him, it makes complete sense. It's Croc charms. I need Croc charms. I said, what do you mean Croc charms? So I looked it up. And if you're not familiar with what a Croc charm is, it's essentially a Christmas tree ornament, except for your shoes. Okay. So, and there's all kinds of, the little holes in the Crocs. What you can do is it's like a little button, and you just pop it in, and it's like a decoration. It's your little shoe decoration. So the ones he has are related to superheroes, some sports, soccer, baseball, basketball, and he's got something else. And I just did a quick search online. I mean, you can get the characters from South Park. You can get the characters to pretty much anything, and they're only a couple of bucks. And then you decorate your shoe with them. Well, I mention all that to say this because I think this is foolish. If you're looking for a unique, not too classy idea to propose, a jewelry maker in the UK is selling a $2,000. It's called Gibbets. A $2,000 Gibbets charm for Crocs that looks like an engagement ring. Instead of slipping it on your finger, you stick it on the top of your Croc sandal. If you're going to propose while wearing Crocs, you're probably not the most romantic person in the world anyway, so this might be a good idea. A fine jewelry maker in the UK is selling a new engagement ring charm that sticks to the top of your Croc. If you're down with the lingo, it's just like the Gibbets charms that people decorate their Crocs with, but much fancier. So I guess I call them Croc charms. They're called Gibbets, apparently. All right. It comes in a felt box. The idea is that you propose with it, excuse me, like it's a ring. Then you stick it in their crock instead of on your lady's finger. Or you could go down on one knee, and instead of presenting the ring up, you just point down at the shoe and pop it in the shoe. Some people are calling it unique, wacky, outside the box. It's not a cheap stunt, as it cost about $2,000 for this crock charm. But I wonder if there's a real diamond in it. It has, okay, hang on. It's got a 1-carat green sapphire in the middle, surrounded by 16 tiny diamonds, set in silver. And yeah, it costs about $2,000 plus shipping. The jewelry brand is called Jessica Flynn. You can check it out online. Just search Gibbets Engagement Crock Charm. Each one is made to order, and it takes up to 8 weeks to ship. What do you think, Ben?
And while you're talking about it, all I can imagine is somebody walking through my barn with Crocs and walking through all the cow manure, having sapphires hooked to their toes. And the reason that some kids on the farm wear the Crocs is because when they walk through the barn and they get in the cow manure or out in the grass, out in the fields, rounding up my cows, they can come in the milk room and just take the water hose and they wash off their feet in the Croc. It's real easy and move on, go to town. But you're talking about white Crocs with jewelry, wallering around in the cow manure. No.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's funny. My son insisted he had to have the white Crocs, and he says there's. I don't even think I've ever had Crocs on my feet before. I've never tried them. I'm not knocking them. I've never tried them. So I was looking at a few pairs, and I don't know. I usually just slip on a comfortable sneaker when I'm running out the door. But so I have to tell him sometimes. I'll mow the lawn, and he wants to get out there and run around with the dog or something. I'm like, you're gonna. Because I don't know how easily that'll come off. But if you're saying the manure just sprays right off, maybe it does come off pretty easily.
But there's no safety. Like if a cow steps on your toe, them Crocs, there's no safety between your toe and that cow.
Yeah, it'll crush it.
But my hired help, I've got kids who work on my farm to help me, high school kids.
Yeah.
And they come to work with Crocs, and at first I was like, nah, that's not really the way to do it. But then after you watch, they wallow through anything, everywhere, anything. And then when they get all done before they go home, they just go in and take a water hose and they're good to go.
Rinse them right out. Yeah.
But I don't think you'd be putting $2,000 engagement rings or wedding rings on them and coming off and losing all these trinkets you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, that's not for the farm life.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know who would do this, but I mean, people do waste money on a lot of things that I think are foolish. But
it's a fad.
There are markets for it. So can you talk a little bit about how many people work on your farm, the type of work that they do, and I guess, let's start there.
All right. So, I have a dairy farm up there on Star Hill. Altogether, we have 6 farms together. My son and I and my wife, we're all 1/3 owners. I brought my son in a few years ago. When he got out of high school, he left the farm, and he went to work for Nelson Tree Service, taking down trees around the power lines for National Grid.
Sure.
And he was making really good money, but, his passion is the farm. So after 7 years, he come to me one day and said he wanted to come back to the farm. And I said, well, we're going to have to grow the farm because there's no way I could afford hired help to do what I do and then bring you back and give you a good living. So we expanded the farm, not only into the hay business and the firewood that I do, but also we went into the grain business, corn and soybeans. And over the period of time, farms kept coming up for sale up there in the northern part of the county, central part of the Oneida County, the Steuben, Westernville, Remsen area. And so we just kept buying up farmland, and now we grow 450 acres of corn, 250 acres of soybeans. That's all animal cash crop fed off the farm. And then we expanded our hay business, so we do really good with the hay. And of course, my firewood business has always been phenomenal. That's just a given.
Now, so how much is a cord of wood? I don't mean money wise, but I mean it's funny. My neighbor said I just got a cord of wood, and I said, well, I don't know how much that is. What is a cord of wood?
Okay,
is that based on how big the tree is? How big? Go ahead.
The pile. So here in central New York, the Ag and Market says you have to sell firewood by the face cord. So a face cord of firewood is 4 feet tall, 8 feet long, by the length that the customer requests. So most customers at 16, 17, 18 inch. That's your average size for most people's fireplace, wood stove, things like that.
Okay.
I do get some people have a small yodel type stove or a fireplace insert. They'll want 14 or 15 inch firewood. And then what's really exploded in the last 10 years is outdoor wood boilers, where they want 2-foot wood. And so, but a face cord of wood is 4 feet high. When you stack it up, a finished product delivered to the customer is 4 feet high, 8 feet long by the length that the customer requests. That's what New York State Ag and Market says. Then there's such a thing where I came from in New Hampshire, what they call a full cord. And a full cord of wood is 4 by 4 by 8, 4 feet high, 4 feet wide, 8 feet long. And that's cut into whatever length the customer wants, as long as it stacks up finished product, 4 by 4 by 8. So
let me ask you a question. You make a delivery to someone's house.
Yep.
It's not delivered when you dump it off the truck. You have to then stack it.
No, sir.
No. Okay.
No, I can't. With all the customers.
I was going to say, that's a long day.
That's right. No. So I have.
No, sir.
No, sir. I do have a couple senior citizen people that we do provide stacking service for that work on my farm, a couple kids, and I'll send them over to stack. But generally speaking, no, sir. I have a firewood processor. So I have everything. I have a log skidder, and I go in the woods, and I cut the tree down. I bring the whole tree out. I measure out the log, the butt end of the tree, whatever's for the log business. Set that to one side. Then the residue, whatever's left, the limbs and the smaller stuff and the crooked limbs and things like that doesn't make a good furniture-grade log, gets run through my firewood processor. I have a full automated firewood processor. And it cuts it, splits it, and loads the truck to whatever setting I set it. So, like if a customer wants 14-inch wood, we set it at 14-inch. Every block of wood that goes through that machine is 14-inch.
Oh, that's great.
And then I have 2 firewood trucks. I have a 6-cord truck, and I have a 10-face cord truck. And then we just make our deliveries. I have a minimum of 3 face cords per delivery. And I back up, and we dump it. So how we come up with our measurement is we've delivered so much wood. I do roughly 2,000 cords of firewood a year.
Oh, wow.
Cut, split, and delivered here in the Mohawk Valley. And so we know what the truck holds. We know how much 3 cords is in the truck. And sometimes it varies a little bit. So I always tell everybody that there's always a little extra wood in the truck, because some pieces of wood don't fall in the truck the same. They go up an elevator, they fall in. My wood only gets touched by a human hand to level off the load. I take a chainsaw, I cut the tree down, we drag it out, we cut it up, we slice the log out of it, and then I take my log loader, pick it up, set it on the firewood processor, run it through the processor, and make finished product firewood. That's how I do it. I charge $80 a cord right now, this time of year. Here, as soon as it gets cold, probably 1st of September, we're going to go to 85 or 90. We're going to evaluate what the cost is for fuel.
Sure.
My insurance is killing me, just like everybody else. My insurance has gone up. And, of course, the landowners that I buy standing wood from, I buy standing firewood, stumpage, standing trees. Most of the time, I work through a forester, where he goes in and he marks the specific trees to be harvested. And that's called TSI, Timber Stand Improvement, where we go in and on somebody's land and we harvest the trees that a forester marks to enhance the good trees, let them grow.
Right.
And that's how I do it. And so, yeah, it's a very good business. It's a very lucrative business, but it's a lot of work. And to time your deliveries with the customer at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that gets to be a challenge sometimes, but it works. It's a good business, and it complements the farm. Then we make a massive amount of bales of hay, little 40-pound square bales on my farm, and that goes mostly to horse people locally. And then every now and again, we'll get a tractor trailer to come from New England. We'll load up a tractor trailer, put between 500 and 600 bales inside a box truck, and shut the doors, and they go down the road to their horse customer they have. I sell it at my farm.
Sure.
And this year here, hay's been bringing pretty much around $5 a bale at the farm, and then deliveries on top of that. If you live right around Steuben, Remsen, we kind of give and take. But if we have to go like down by Fort Stanwix, down in there, or Fort Ricky Game Farm down in that way, I got a couple customers down there.
Sure.
Then we have to charge extra.
Sure.
So that's the story of my farm. I've got 80 dairy cows up there. We try to milk between 55 and 60 cows all the time. I do not raise any baby calves on my farm. I found that the amount of time it takes to nurture them and care for them and house them and feed them and care for them. My barn has 80 stalls in it. I have 80 cows. And when one of my cows decides to go to McDonald's for lunch, excuse me, she is lunch. But when I sell one of my cows, I have a couple of cattle dealers that I call and say, I have an empty stall in my barn and I'd like another brand new, fresh milking cow. And they bring her right up. We put her in the barn and we just keep right on going. The milk business is tough. The price of milk goes up and down all the time. There's nothing stable about the milk business. And what you customers are paying for your ice cream and your milk and your yogurt has no bearing on what the price of milk is to the farmer.
This is a great conversation to have here because I don't think most people realize this. I only know this because I've spoken to you over the years. What you pay at the market is fairly stable. You can ballpark it within 20, 30 cents, right? It's pretty much the same thing with ice cream, especially you see, like you brought in, I think it was Stuart you brought in this morning?
I brought in Stuart.
But they do some great sales on ice cream. You go on certain days, as a Sunday or whatever the case might be, they have special prices in certain months, but it is not related really in any regard to what you get paid at the farm. Is that right? Now, how is that possible?
Totally correct. So it's kind of complicated, but to make it really simple, the price of milk to the farmer is determined out in Chicago on the mercantile exchange, just like the stock market.
The federal price.
Federal price. And that's based on basically cheese, how cheese is selling. So cheese is the driver for the price of milk on the farm.
What you get paid.
What we get paid. The farmer
not
gets
at the,
paid.
Not at the grocery store. It's what you get paid.
Yep. And in that formula that they use to price the price of milk is the amount of milk that's being produced in the United States. And if there's a massive amount, like here, April, May, and June, we have what we call spring flush. All cows are milking really good on green grass. Everything's vibrant and growing. And there's a surplus of milk. They'll push, the government will say, well, we don't need all this milk, and there's too much cheese on the market, so the price gets suppressed. And basically, just a rule of thumb, the price of milk to the farmer is 10% of what block cheese is on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
Okay.
30-pound blocks is how they do that. And so it's very, very, very complicated. And they keep it complicated so a farmer can't figure it out.
Well, that's not true. I think you guys are among the smartest people, and you guys plan ahead and everything else. But it's not a fair price.
No, it's not. I mean, I cry
There's so
all the
many
time.
dairy farmers going out of business, right? I mean, when you talk about, in the last couple of years, you were in the market because this farm went up for sale or this farm went up for sale. It's unfortunately a story we hear repeated over and over and over again. I mean, literally hundreds of dairy farms in New York have closed over the last several years.
When I moved here from New Hampshire in 1984, 1985, when I moved here, there was over 400 dairy farms in Oneida County, smaller farms, and there was between 18 to 20,000 cows in Oneida County. Today, there's less than 180 farms. I don't have the exact number because we're waiting for the census to come back with all the information. But Marty Broccoli, when he comes on, we can ask him that question. But there's somewhere between 170, 180 farms left in Oneida County right now, dairy farmers producing milk. And there's still 18,000 cows in Oneida County. And those 18,000 cows that are in Oneida County today produce a huge amounts of milk versus what they did back in 1980s because of the genetics and the efficiencies that us farmers have come up with. And we found out that, like when I was growing up back in New Hampshire with my grandparents on our farm, we'd start haying 4th of July. No one started cutting hay before 4th of July. Then they figured out, nutritionists and college people and Cornell got together and says, let's take some samples of some grass in late May. Let's take some in the 1st of June and middle of June. And they found out that the quality of the grasses in May and June were so high in nutrients and rich that cows will milk better. And then, of course, we've bred our cows for more production. Hybrid, like we use better bulls.
That's how the chocolate milk. That's how you get chocolate milk, right?
Well, no, we haven't got that hybrid
doesn't
yet.
work like that?
No, it ain't worked that. All milk is white, And all milk comes from a mammal, period.
Gotcha.
This almond milk and coconut milk, that just drives me crazy.
Okay.
So I get on a tangent with that. But anyway, so to make a long story short, the price of milk right now that we've been getting for the last month, 6 weeks from the marketplace is about where the price of milk was in the late 80s, early 90s. How's the expenses on your farm doing? They're what they are in 2023.
Right, not what the cost of living was 30 years ago. Yeah.
Right. A tractor nowadays is $100,000, and that ain't nothing special. You go down to Clinton Tractor down there on Meadow Street, and you look at those great big tractors that are half the size of your house. Those tractors are $250,000, brand new.
Wow.
And so how the farmers have been able to sustain it, you have to get bigger. The profit margin per cow is so small, you got to do it by numbers.
All right, we'll continue this conversation. You can send your questions in as well. We've got a couple of them here. Bob and Lance and Lee with a question as well. We'll get to those and our guests. We've got some great guests coming up here this morning. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Here's what those savings sound like in dollar bills. Here's what it sounds like in quarters. And here's what that sounds like in cryptocurrency, a thing I totally understand. 1010, I am money, cha-ching, beep boop, $.
Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
The official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck is ready with coffee, espresso, lattes, iced coffee, and, of course, fresh bagels and fresh donuts every single day. Try the pistachio latte this summer. It is delicious, and it is a quencher. It's Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford.
Local news updates on demand.
The source I can trust.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
President Biden's gathered with key allies. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The United States is here today to reaffirm our commitment to NATO.
President sitting next to the leader of the host country, Lithuania, the day after Turkey's president agreed to a deal to allow Sweden to join the military alliance. Hungary also expected to agree, paving the way. NATO leader Jens Stoltenberg just said,
Another major message from this summit will be that we need to invest more in our defense.
And Fox's Alexandria Hoff reports.
Support for Ukraine will be top of discussion. Ukraine's long-sought entry into NATO will likely also be discussed, but that's something President Biden has been vocal in his reluctance to allow, fearing how quickly Russia's war could expand from Ukraine to elsewhere.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, who's pushing to join NATO, just called it absurd that Ukraine might not be considered for NATO membership, saying it gives Russia motivation to continue its terror. There's a state of emergency in Vermont where a deluge of rain has flooded parts of the capital, Montpelier, and other areas. Dozens of people needed to be rescued. The day after some flooding in New York, one woman was killed when swept away.
A lot of people are comparing the flooding here in New York's Hudson Valley and the flooding over in Vermont to past hurricanes. That's how much damage there is. The water was so strong at times it had the strength to tear apart roads and bridges like this one behind me. Officials are still trying to figure out if it's passable right now. They have it barricaded off so people won't drive or walk over it.
Fox Weather's Katie Byrne in Highland Falls, New York. It's day 5 of the manhunt for an escaped homicide suspect, Michael Burham, who broke out of the Warren County, Pennsylvania jail. State Police Lieutenant Adam Reed is asking for the public's help spotting Burham and just told Fox,
"We believe that he's possibly armed. We know that he's dangerous. He also has survivalist training."
2 other murder suspects who escaped custody the past 2 days in California and Montana have been captured. America's listening to Fox News.
Major phone carriers make you sign contracts with rigid data plans to trap you into a kind of forced phonogamy. Sounds pretty insecure if you ask me. At Consumer Cellular, we believe in a more consensual and healthy form of phonogamy, free of contracts and more flexible to your data needs. This way, you stick around not because we force you to with contracts and fees, but because you love our phone plans. Like ardently love our phone plans. Phonogamously. Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
All right, we've got some clouds out there and 61 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by the fireworks at My Carl's. The 4th of July sale has been extended. Incredible savings in every department with all items in stock for same-day pickup or same-day delivery. My Carl's in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. While our neighbors a bit to the north still dealing with the state of emergency because of floodwaters. Heavy rains caused roads to be covered in water and washing out of several locations in Williamstown, town of Mexico, and the town of Parrish. People who still need to travel are urged to stay away from spots that appear to be unsafe because there's no telling just how deep the water is. A story we told you about last week at WIBX950.com involving credit card skimmers found at Walmart locations in central New York. None have been located here in the Mohawk Valley, but WSYR-TV reports the devices have been spotted at retail chain locations in Granby, East Syracuse, Oswego, Auburn, Camillus, Cortlandville, Waterloo, and Central Square. It's believed the skimmers were placed in stores during the July 4th holiday weekend. Still no word yet on how many customers may have been impacted as far as credit card information being put at risk or being stolen. Those credit card skimmers, for the most part, were discovered around July 5th, 6th, and 7th. Well, despite ongoing court challenges aimed at stopping it, work is now underway on an over $2 billion project to rebuild Interstate 81. The Post-Standard says contractors are clearing trees, installing new GPS technology, and removing old sound barriers. Construction has started in the area where Interstate 81 meets Interstate 481 north of Syracuse. The project will lead to a bridge that runs through downtown Syracuse being torn down and vehicles being used to rebuild streets to get to their destinations in those locations. Amtrak service between the Capital Region and New York City still suspended because of extreme flooding downstate. Storms on Sunday caused severe damage to the railroad tracks in the Hudson Valley, and there are concerns over safety. No timetable just yet on when trains will be allowed to head down toward the Big Apple from the Capital District again. The latest updates can be found at Amtrak.com or by following the company's social media accounts. WIBX News Time is 7:06. We are looking at a mostly dry day today, sunny skies, and hopefully that sunshine sticks with us for a couple of days. Here is your forecast from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, breezy, turning very warm, but not too humid. An isolated shower or storm, but most places will remain dry. A high of 88. Tonight remains mild, an isolated shower, low 62. And tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a few passing showers, but again, most places will remain dry. A high of 81. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Right now, we have 63 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:07. The time is brought to you by Country Suburban. All right, in sports, the Home Run Derby last night. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the winner. He slugged 25 home runs in the final round, beating Randy Arozarena of the Tampa Bay Rays. A lot of R's in there. He also took down Mariners outfielder Julio Rodriguez 21-20 in the semifinals. Rodriguez, though, set a single-round record in the Derby with 41 home runs in the quarterfinals against Matt Pete Alonso, who crushed 21 long balls. Well, the top players in baseball still in Seattle. Of course, the 2023 Major League Baseball All-Star Game is tonight. The American League will be looking for its 10th straight victory over the National League when the two sides square off at T-Mobile Park. The Atlanta Braves have a Major League leading 8 players suiting up in the All-Star Game tonight. The Yankees making a move during the All-Star break. They've added a new hitting coach. 49-year-old Sean Casey has been working as an analyst for Major League Baseball Network, but he finds a new role for the remainder of this season as the hitting coach with the Yankees. Casey is a 3-time All-Star himself. He hit .302 over 12 Major League seasons with the Cleveland Guardians, the Cincinnati Reds, Pittsburgh Pirates, Detroit Tigers, and Boston Red Sox. Well, we told you last week about the controversy with Victor Wembanyama and his security team and Britney Spears, but now the Spurs are shutting down Victor Wembanyama for the rest of the Summer League. Wembanyama totaled 27 points and 12 rebounds in a loss to the Blazers in his final game of the summer on Sunday. The 19-year-old French product said that he's just glad that he can shift his focus to his first NBA regular season, which is quickly approaching. Wembanyama also mentioned that he just wants to hoop, work out, and lift weights. What else do I need to mention here? Some Summer League action for the NBA. The Knicks return tomorrow night. They seek their first victory when they take on the Orlando Magic at Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. The Knicks have dropped each of their first 2 games of Summer League play after falling to the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. WIBX News Time is 7:08. Coming up, we'll talk with Beth Irons with the Oneida County Farmers Market. We'll get some details on that. And our guest host this morning, Ben Simons. We're coming right back after this here on WIBX.
Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating and Cooling and Insulation. And with all the smoke pollution we've been dealing with this spring and summer, maintaining good indoor quality is more important than ever. Call on Fred F. Collis & Sons to make sure your indoor air quality solutions are perfect for your home. This is Bill Keeler. Let's talk about cooling, as it's been so hot this summer. Collis has many different options for you. First, it could mean repairing your AC and bringing it up to tip-top shape, or possibly a heat pump. A perfect idea for cooling. A popular type of heat pump that Collis is proud to offer is the ductless mini split. And they have great programs available through the state to assist you in getting financing on the program. And in some cases, some people have had the entire project paid for. Another important step is keeping your home cool all summer long with upgrades to your home's insulation. And speaking of insulation, Collis is hiring for insulation installers. No experience necessary. They're holding an open interview day at their Yorkville office on Commercial Drive, Wednesday, July 19th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. No experience required. They're also looking to hire a crew leader, and that would require experience. You can go to their website, fredfcollis.com. There's a place right there to actually apply right online. Call them, 315-768-2323. Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation, Yorkville, Rome, and Syracuse.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget. Or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $20 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-888-201-7082, and you are guaranteed a $20 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-888-201-7082. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-888-201-7082 now to secure your $20 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-888-201-7082.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, 7:13. First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. No Keeler with us this week. We've got some special guest hosts in with us each day this week joining us. And joining us this morning, in case you're just tuning in, is Ben Simons, an Oneida County farmer. And we're talking quite a bit of ag here on the program this morning. And Ben, I'll go ahead and introduce our next guest, who is Beth Irons. We've had Beth on the program many times ourselves because we often talk about the farmers markets in our area. And we say good morning to Beth. Hey, Beth, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Very good. Talking farms this morning here on the Keeler Show with Ben and Beth. I like it. It's got a good ring to it. And Beth, we often talk to you about the farmers market, and in particular, the one that's held, is it every Saturday or every other Saturday at on Main Street? Union Station. Thank you.
Yep. This time of the year, we're every Saturday. We're every other Saturday, just January through April in the wintertime. But other than that, we're every Saturday, 9 to 1.
Let's talk about the farmers that you have. They come from all over Oneida County. Are they from outside of the county as well? And is the farmers market just that one location, or are there several locations?
We have farmers and food producers of different kinds from up to 7 different surrounding counties. The majority of them are from around Oneida County. Many are from Herkimer County, but we've had vendors from as far away as Lewis County, Schoharie. So we have gotten a really good reputation because of the quality of farmers that we have and the products that they put out every week. That our vendors will tell other vendors about participating in our market. So we are very happy to host, good quality producers from around the upstate New York area. I forgot what the other half of your question was.
Well, I'm sorry. It was
enough coffee yet this morning.
It was a long question. I'll just mention in there as well. You get a good turnout from the community as well at these events because everyone knows it's great quality that you get when you go to the Oneida County Farmers Market.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll never forget the idea that the farmers market is a business incubator. So we try to put those people in the best possible situation we can. The Oneida County Public Market is every Saturday from 9 to 1. There are other markets in the county. You can go to a different farmers market almost every day of the week in Oneida County, and we are happy to promote all of the counties that are available to the people throughout the week in addition to ours. Being a Saturday market, we're able to feature a few things that are unique to a weekend mindset as opposed to during the week. People are stopping in at different markets on the way home to pick up something for dinner. We encourage people to stop at our market on Saturday mornings if they have a camp up north. Stop in and get something fresh for the grill or some fresh fruits and vegetables for your salads and, fruits to put on your breakfast cereal and that kind of thing. But we encourage people to always support local wherever your local may be. So we make sure that everybody's aware that there are all the farmers markets that are operating in and around Oneida County.
Yeah, and Beth, we just I pulled it up for all the listeners out there. If you go to the Cornell Cooperative Extension website, you'll see that the schedule for every farmers market in Oneida County, they have them in Boonville, Clinton, Holland, Patton, New Hartford, the Oneida County Public Market down in Utica at the Union Station, Oriskany, Rome, Vienna, and Whitesboro. And if you would, Beth, take a moment and explain that when people go to the farmers markets, not only are they buying the freshest, but they're supporting their local farmer. If you would emphasize that.
Oh, absolutely. Every dollar spent with the local farmer is reinvested multiple times over by that farmer, whether they're buying feed for their livestock, fertilizer for their fields, paying their seasonal staff to work there. And then they have all the expenses that the rest of us do. There's utilities and fuel and, insurances that they have to pay, and just the transportation costs of getting what they're growing out of the fields, harvested, packaged, and to market. It's a big ask to have a farmer that's willing to come off the farm for the majority of what would be a work day for them, especially, during times of the year. We start our summer season in May, but we do have markets through the winter. So anytime between like early March to about the middle of May, I hold my farmers markets with my fingers crossed, because I know if it's a really nice day, the farmers are going to need to be out in the fields, turning the fields, or it might be calving season or lambing season or, that kind of thing. So everything pays attention to Mother Nature's clock. And the farmers live and die by that, and we have to respect that. So I always keep that in mind, but I'm always prepared. My job as a market manager is to make sure I'm always prepared for them with a clean space, a safe space, a welcoming space for consumers to come in and support the farmer, because the money they spend at their local market is almost immediately reinvested in their own communities.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, is when you start out in May, you take the people that like the home can, that like to can things at home and bottle things. The nice thing about the farmer's market, they can buy exactly what is fresh that time of year. Like there's different things in May that are ready to harvest and be canned versus in May, June, July, and August. So every time they go to the farmer's market, there's always something coming into season and something going out. So all the canners out there, the most perfect place they can go to buy their farm fresh products is right at the farmer's market, because most farmers will pick their crop the night before, bring it to the farmer's market, and sell it within less than 24 hours.
I mean, how fresh?
Exactly.
You couldn't get more fresh than that.
And,
unless you picked it
another
yourself.
important to make with respect to that is, if you are a home canner and you want to get things in bulk, you don't want to just come in and like clear a farmer's table necessarily at the market every day. But a lot of them are very open to being contacted prior to the market session, whichever market you're attending. Go to that market, talk to your favorite vendor, your favorite farmer, and say, geez, tomatoes are coming into season and I'm getting ready to put up my sauce for the winter, and ask them what they would offer in bulk capacity, because a lot of them will take what they call the uglies, because most of us, we don't want to go to the farmer's market and buy a lumpy tomato. We want that nice, big, round, picture-perfect tomato that we're going to slice on our hamburgers or, put in our salads. But the ones that aren't perfectly shaped are just as good, just as healthy. And a lot of times they will be offered, a lot of times they'll call them the uglies. Tell them that you want to buy in bulk, and they'll give you very possibly a discounted price on the uglies. I want to come in and I want to buy 3 bushels of tomatoes. And you call the farmer prior to the farmer's market session, and 2 things will happen. You will be guaranteed your purchase in the quantity that you need, and the vendor or the farmer is now guaranteed to make money before he even shows up at the market. So there's a lot of positives on both sides. But whether it's, apples in the fall because you make applesauce, tomatoes for your pasta sauce, anything you want to put in the freezer. Early in the season, the first things we see are strawberries and asparagus. Both are good canning things. I mean, strawberries, if you're a jam or a jelly maker, it's always, if you're a preserver, you're thinking ahead anyway. What's growing in June, you're thinking of eating in February. So it's always a positive to contact your favorite farmer or producer of that particular product and say, geez, next time I come, can you have such and such ready for me? And like I said, it guarantees that the farmer won't run out of what you're looking for, and that guarantees the farmers that they've made money that day before they even show up, which always is a positive.
Yep, and the thing that intrigues me about these farmers markets is that, and I know you hear it all the time, Beth, and the listeners need to hear it. You get to know your farmer. You get to know that that product that you're buying was raised by that family, by that farmer. It didn't come from out of state or out of the country. You don't know how it was treated or the transportation or even how old it is. When you go to the farmer's market, you get to meet the farmer. He can tell you how he grew it, what he did to it, what varieties work good here in New York.
Yep.
And the flavor. You can go to the grocery store, and I don't want to I want to make sure I got a disclaimer. I don't want Walmart calling me up at home today. But but am I right, Beth? You can go to Walmart and buy a tomato.
Absolutely.
You go to Walmart, buy a tomato. You go to a farmer's market and buy a tomato. What's the difference, Beth?
Oh, my God, worlds of difference. And you can say that about any product. Like you just hit it on the head. Anything that's grown or raised locally is a whole different level of good when you take it home and cook it and put it on the table to feed your family. And you will, I mean, I surprised myself at how much of a snob I turned into when I started managing a farmer's market, because the one major thing that it teaches you as a consumer is the seasonality of the food.
Yep.
And where foods are grown. I mean, I've had some. Hasn't happened a lot over the years, but occasionally I'll get somebody who's frustrated when they're at my market because they don't find anybody who sells bananas.
Right.
I'm like, well, you don't grow bananas in New York. I mean, like, you're not going to find bananas or lemons or limes or oranges or coconuts or papayas or, and if you are, then you're not looking at a true farmer's market farmer.
Right.
But it's the way the meat tastes, the way the breads taste, the way that all the food in general tastes. You just can't beat it. Now, granted, I'm a banana lover, so I'm going to go to wherever I do my grocery shopping, and I'm going to buy bananas to throw in my smoothie every morning. But I get that. But still, at the same time, you find yourself looking at labels and say, produced in the United States, produced in USA, is going to take priority in my brain over purchasing something that would be shipped in from out of the country. So it kind of helps you understand the food chains a little bit, not necessarily to a detailed, deep dive level, but it helps you understand that, okay, depending on the nature of the product you're buying, if you're at least focusing on buying things that are produced in this country, then in your own way, you're supporting this country.
Yep.
And that just trickles down to the local level.
Yeah, and if you would, Beth, emphasize that people that have SNAP cards, I call it food stamps, but it's the new one is SNAP cards. The New York State Ag and Markets got together, and people with SNAP. So if you'd emphasize on that.
Well, a lot of the farmers markets, not all of them, but a lot of them will offer SNAP services where you can go in and use your benefits off your SNAP card. We are participating in what's called a supplemental nutrition program called Double Up Food Bucks, where we'll give you what's called a loyalty card, which works just like a debit card at a bank. We put dollars from your EBT card, your SNAP card, onto the loyalty card, and then we match it dollar for dollar up to $20 every market day. So every time you come in, if we take $20 off your SNAP card and put it on your loyalty card, we will match it with another $20, and you'll have $40 to spend at the market instead of $20.
That's great.
And a lot of the farmers markets that offer these supplemental programs will do that. Some of them, it's not always a one-to-one. A big one through New York State Ag and Markets is Fresh Connect, where every $5 you take off your SNAP card, you get an extra $2. So it increases your buying power by at least 40%. So that's another reason that it's always a good idea to try and granted, I mean, I'm like everybody else. I go to Walmart because I don't have a vendor that sells toilet paper and toothpaste and laundry soap. And everybody
or
needs
bananas,
those things.
or bananas,
or bananas, yeah. But at the same time, there are large departments in the grocery stores that I don't even walk through anymore. Yeah. The produce department and the meat department. And, I actually, during the pandemic, twice I was at Walmart and the entire meat case, like everything was gone. They were just empty. And I was talking to one older lady that was kind of panicking. I'm like, at Walmart might be out of meat, but my meat vendors at the farmer's market always have meat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They didn't run out. So my daughter's always accusing me of like, Mom, you're always on. You're always on. And I'm like, well, everybody eats every day, right? So talking about food's kind of a front end conversation, no matter where you are or what you're talking about. So, never ever forget that farmers markets are literally right outside your front door, easy access. You're investing your food dollars right back into your community immediately. Like you said a few minutes before, Ben, you're not supporting a random farmer that just grew something 3,000 miles away. You're supporting Ben and his family who live right down the road, or John and his family who live right down the road, or Mary and her family whose kids go to school with your kids. That's a connection that's really at the heart of supporting local.
So let me ask you this: what's the website, Ben, that you ran off that list of all the local farmers markets? Let everybody know what that is, where they can find that schedule.
Yep. You can go directly to the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Oneida County's website. And Beth, would you help me out with that?
Sure. It's cceoneida.com. And I believe right now, because this is current, new, fresh information, and we're in farmers market season. So there might be a shortcut right on the homepage. If there isn't, you could just go to the agriculture page, and Alex, who is a wonderful PR and communications person that's on staff with us now, who works with the agricultural team at Cooperative Extension, created this beautiful document that is all-inclusive. Like was mentioned before, it gives you the day of the week, the time of the day, and the location of all of the active markets this year in Oneida County. So. And then there's actually an interactive map also on the Cooperative Extension website on the agricultural page. That'll show you the food stands, the farmers markets in the surrounding counties. So it's like CCE is about agriculture. And, while I'm happy to be the manager of, one of the lead markets in the county, we all help each other out, and we're just promoting good food to good people for good health. So we ring that bell as often as we can.
Awesome.
And if someone doesn't know how they don't have computer access or anything, just contact your neighbors or have somebody Google it up, and you can find Oneida County Farmers Markets. It's pretty easy. If I can find it, anybody can find it.
Or you can call the office directly at 315-736-3394. Anybody who answers the phone will be more than qualified to let you know when and where the next farmers market's going to be.
All right.
And
Beth Irons, thank you so much. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to go back down the list again. There are farmers markets this summer in Boonville, Clinton, Holland Patton, New Hartford, the Oneida County Public Market at the Union Station, Oriskany, Rome, Vienna, and, of course, Utica, the Hannah Park, Court Street, Broadway, and Whitesboro. So they're pretty accessible in Oneida County, and I just want to emphasize that to your customers or the listeners of the station, that when you go to a farmer's market, when you hand that money over to the farmer, you're directly buying from the person that grew that food or his wife right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Support your local farm.
And, of course, Beth talked about how that money just gets reinvested multiple times over in our own community. It's a great way to support the local economy. And, again, that's not even touching on the health benefits of locally grown,
and the
non-processed food, the rich flavor that comes with it.
Yeah.
So there are many benefits to supporting your local farmers. Beth, thank you so much for all that you do. I'll give one more plug for the one that I know about every single Saturday in the summer. It's Saturday 9 to 1, the Oneida County Farmers Market at Union Station. Check it out. That's every single week. And then you can go to give the website once again for all of the local markets that you have across the county.
It's cceoneida.com.
cceoneida.com. You can check it out for yourself. Beth, thank you so much.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you. Good to talk again.
All right. Have a good day. Beth Irons, of course, who runs the Oneida County Farmers Markets. We'll take a quick time out. A lot more to talk about. And joining us up next, Oneida County, New York State Assemblywoman Marion Buttonshawn, who has an upcoming farm tour. We want to highlight that along with a little bit more. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Hi, I'm Max Carbone with Power Sports of Utica. For the month of July, we are offering 1.99% on all 2023 non-cab Can-Am side-by-side models and up to $1,500 off Kawasaki jet ski models only at Power Sports of Utica.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson of Utica. 50% off of all footwear. 40% off of all camp chairs, table sets. Buy one, get one, 75% off of hoodies. And Bike Night, July 14th. Plenty of cold refreshments.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. From the heavy-duty frame to the welded steel deck to their trademark smooth track steering, Hustler Turf Zero-Turn Mowers deliver professional-grade cut quality for a perfectly manicured lawn. It's your chance to be the envy of your neighborhood. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona. And we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Summertime is the best time to build memories in Herkimer County, New York's Experience County. From the Mohawk Valley to the Adirondack Mountains, Herkimer County offers charming communities, festive events, fun adventures, and great family activities. Erie Canal history? Check. Farm markets and unique shops? Check. Outdoor recreation and New York's #1 water theme park? Check. See all the possibilities online at visitherkimercounty.com. Herkimer County. I love New York.
Go green and save green right now at City Suburban. There has never been a better way to heat and cool your home than with a new Mitsubishi electric heat pump system from City Suburban. They provide energy-efficient comfort year-round, are whisper quiet, 40% more efficient than conventional systems, and offer room-by-room temperature control. And the best part is right now you can save up to $9,000 in rebates with the New York State Clean Heat Program while funds are available. Go green and make the switch today. And as always, receive City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guarantee.
This is Chris from City Suburban on Route 233 in Westmoreland. There has never been a better time to upgrade your system than right now. You can save up to $9,000 with New York State Clean Heat rebates and make your home more comfortable and efficient for years to come. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
I'm looking for fuel injector cleaner.
Right now, buy a bottle of Chevron Techron Complete Fuel System Cleaner and get one free. Only at AutoZone.
Will it also help with my mileage?
Get everything you need to restore your performance in MPGs.
Get in zone.
Wait, is it good for trucks too?
Whatever vehicle you have, you can find the right products and parts at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. It is 7:36. A couple of things to mention here. We will do a free money question of the day today from Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. How much money is to be determined? But I'm thinking it's going to be more than $100 today. But we're going to kick that into the final hour of the show. So we'll do that sometime early in the 8 o'clock hour or about halfway through. We're going to stick with our ag theme here this morning. I also want to pass on a couple of comments.
Oh, boy.
First of all, Jim Zecca says, hello, Ben.
Good
He's
morning,
glad to
Jim.
hear you this morning. And I say good morning to Jim because I know you listen each and every day, and we certainly appreciate that here at WIBX. Bob in Whitesboro says, Ben, do you do tours of your wood cutting? I've never heard of that, but I think
they have it. Yeah, it's
Oh, they
out
do?
there. Yep.
Do you do that?
Woodlot management. I don't.
No, you don't.
I participate by going to them to learn about invasive species.
Gotcha.
And things like that we're all worried about, like right now, this emerald ash borer.
Yeah.
It's killing all the ash trees.
Yeah.
I do go to them, but I don't participate, like host them. I just never have. Nope. So thank you for that question. But no, I do participate by attending, but I do not participate by hosting them. Most of the work I do in the woods is under the direction or the guidance of a forester.
Gotcha. Our man, Tim Reed, who I saw this weekend, he says, question for Ben on the firewood. Is the firewood seasoned, or do you have to wait a year before you can use it?
Nope, I can't keep up with the firewood orders. So my firewood, usually when you're sitting down having your lunch, it's still standing, has leaves on it. And by the time you eat supper at night and I deliver it, it's in your yard, all cut, split, delivered. And if you buy your wood this time of year, like right here and now, July, June, July, early August, you still have plenty of time to get it stacked up. I want to say to the firewood burners out there, the biggest mistake I see all the time when I deliver firewood is I'll deliver a load of firewood and everybody has to run out that night and put a tarp over the top of the firewood because they don't want it to rain on it. Wrong.
You want to dry it out.
You want to
Even
dry
if
it
it
out.
rains, it'll still dry, right?
That's right. Even if it rains. The key to drying firewood, treat it like a hamper full of wet laundry. You want the air to get around it.
Yeah.
The ideal way to dry your firewood, stack it up, put a piece of tin over the top of it, just so the rain doesn't go on it,
Yep.
but the air can get through it. And I see people
As
all
it
the
blows
time.
side to side, right?
Correct.
Goes, when you say go through it. Yep.
You want the air to pass through the wood. So yes, do not cover a pile of firewood. Always just cover the top. Just shed the water from the top. That's it.
Gotcha. And then when you wrap it in a tarp, it
Holds
keeps
it.
the moisture in. Yeah.
Like a hamper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That's a good point. And then I got one more here. So and what the seasoned? What does he mean seasoned? They're just drying out?
Yeah, that the
you don't put any salt and pepper on there or anything.
No, Tabasco sauce. No. Seasoned means that it's dry. It brings the moisture content down so that the wood can burn.
Gotcha.
And it doesn't have all that life and the moisture in it.
All right, and then our buddy Lance and Lee says, as a native of New Hampshire, Woodsville, New Hampshire, what part of New Hampshire is Ben originally from?
I'm from the Lakes region, Lake Winnisquam area, Lake Winnipesaukee, 20 minutes north of the New Hampshire International Speedway. Motorcycle weekend up in the Weirs in Laconia.
Yeah.
I was born, bred, and raised in Laconia. My grandparents had a farm in Sanburnton, which is a lakefront town right there on the lake of Winnisquam. And then back a few years ago, my wife's parents decided to start breaking up some of the property in New Hampshire. And so they deeded over the camp on the lake up in Lake Winnisquam, New Hampshire. It's crystal clear. It's a granite lake. It is crystal clear. Beautiful fishing. The lake is 13 miles long, 2.5 miles wide. And we venture up there a couple times a year and spend time at our camp up there.
Gotcha.
So I came from a very high real estate area. Why we came to New York is basically Massachusetts moved in and made central New Hampshire the playground for Boston, Massachusetts. The lakes and the skiing, Gunstock ski area. Anybody that follows NASCAR up there, that big New Hampshire International Speedway, which originally was Briars Motorsport Park, and then it went huge. We love New York. New York is everybody gets upset with New York. They really do. But I got to tell you, as a farmer coming here from outside New England, New York is very, very farm promoting, farm conducive to agriculture. We don't pay sales tax on a lot of things that we buy because it's agricultural exempt through the state legislature and Farm Bureau. And New York is very farm friendly. They really are. We get frustrated with the little things, but people need to go to New England and try to farm in New England. Then you come to New York, it's not so bad. I'm not so sure I'd live here if I wasn't a farmer, but New York is very, very welcoming as a farm community.
Well, that's great. Because it's such an important industry.
It's the number one industry in New
absolutely.
York. It's not tourism. It's not the hospitals. Agriculture is the largest industry in Oneida County and in New York State.
Well, and, part of the effort to get New York State and the government to be friendlier to the farmers is to educate them, because a lot of those folks downstate don't quite understand what it means to be a farmer, what it takes to be a farmer, and the obstacles that you guys face. And I know firsthand, and she's got one coming up very early in the month of August. Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshawn,
good friend of mine,
organizes these farm tours, and she brings those unfarm educated downstaters.
We call them downstaters.
Downstaters, brings them up here so that they can get a firsthand look. And she's on the phone with us now. Good morning, Assemblywoman.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Good. When is your tour coming up?
It's August 1st.
And
so
it's a chance for them to get a look and a bit of an education on farms, right?
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity. We work with Cornell Cooperative Extension, the Oneida County Farm Bureau, the New York State Farm Bureau, and it started when we were able to create a program through my office that pairs upstate farmers with Queens, because we were having a conversation in Albany that they were talking of the importance of so many farm products that they wanted to bring throughout the city. And I said, well, that's what I have. And more importantly, we saw that connecting upstate farmers to the city has continued to expand, and it's just a great program. Last year we had legislators from Buffalo to Brooklyn that came to the Mohawk Valley. And Ben is I'm sure you're well aware, is always there for us. He takes part in it. He provides the expertise and insight, and he's traveled across the state also to meet with many legislators. I'll get a text every so often that says, I met Ben Simons. What a guy, and I think that that's helpful. The great thing, this will be our third year, and as you know, Jeff, it's a challenge to put it together, but I have 4 other colleagues that are going to host farm tours, one in Brooklyn, and very exciting, one out on Long Island, one in the western part of the state, because generally there's a 3-day tour that has been going on for many, many years by one of our colleagues, Tag. So that will continue. But what is happening is it's flourishing to emphasize the importance of farming. And as Ben has stated, as our largest economy that we see within the area. We also, I have the honor to carry a resolution every year for July being Ice Cream Month. And yes, it's fun, it's exciting to talk about ice cream, but more importantly, we're talking about our farmers that provide the base product for that great treat. And we kicked it off a couple of weeks ago. I think they kicked it off right off the 30th. So Commissioner Ball came up to Marcy. We met at Riverside Diner, and everyone had a nice ice cream, as well as talked about the importance of what our farmers bring to this area. They do, as Ben has been talking all morning, have their challenges, but when we take a breath back to look at what they provide for us, it's amazing. So thank you, Ben. I know you and Jeff this morning are providing quite a bit of insight, and I sincerely appreciate it.
Well, we want to, this is probably the proper setting right now, is most people, Marianne, don't realize that you sit on the Assembly Ag Committee. And us farmers really do have a voice in Albany with you being on the Ag Committee. When there's something going on, we can always, I want your listeners to hear, Jeff, that we can reach out to Marianne Buttonshawn, Jeff Miller, Joe Griffo, Senator Joe Griffo, and between the three of them, they carry a big voice for the agricultural community in Albany from Central New York. So, Marianne, I really want to say on behalf of the farmers here in Oneida County, we thank you for what you do, and because we know it's hard dealing with those downstaters. We understand it because you send us out on missions and say, hey, Ben, you got to go educate this lady that lives in the Bronx or this guy that lives down in Long Island. But it's you and Brian Miller and Joe Griffo that really carry the message, and we want to thank you for what you do.
It's a great partnership, and I can say that it is. You're heard very well. I think that Beth Irons said it well when she talks about the importance that everybody eats, and that's where we start the conversation in Albany, is the importance of fresh product, as well as the hard work and dedication and commitment that so many of you that are members of the Farm Bureau put together. So I can say that it's an easy sell because of the great partnerships, but also more importantly is the work that you do provide for the community is not just in the area of farming. I mean, you're out there, you provide so much community involvement, and so many other farmers do. They're right side by side with you when there's a community event. I see you there, I see you working. So it was at the Floyd Field Days this weekend, and so many different individuals just within the community that were there supporting the fire department. So I thank all of you.
Thank you, Marianne.
Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw, I'm going to be reaching out to your office to see if we can get you to guest host a program next week, and we've got much more to talk about with the Assemblywoman. Our guest host this morning is Ben Simons, an Oneida County farmer, and Ben helped hook us up. So I thank you so much to Marianne for joining us today, and we'll be speaking with Marianne more in the near future. And then I'm trying to flip over here, Smitty. I hope I didn't break this thing. Let's see here. Do I have, let's go that way, and I think I have Tim Kramer on, who, if we go back a little bit of time, we were talking about that pungent odor that when you guys are, what's the word I want to say? You're fertilizing your fields
Spreading
there.
our liquid manure.
Right, and those nitrates get up into the air, and everyone says, boy, what is that? That is a tough smell. Well, I guess Tim has come up with something here. And we started talking about this at the end of last season. We had coordinated through you, Ben. You've been in contact with Tim. There is a product that can be added in there that really reduces significantly how potent that smell is. So we welcome Tim Kramer on the program now. Good morning, Tim. Are you with us?
Yes, good morning.
If you would, Tim, explain to the listeners out here in Central New York where you are and what you do.
Sure. I'm in Omaha, or by Omaha, Nebraska, right in the corn belt of this part of the United States. We have thousands of cattle and hog operations around various towns and cities throughout this area, as well as we're in 30 other states. And we provide a product, or several products, that help break down waste and break down and reduce the odors that people deal with when the manure is being stored or it is being applied to the fields like you guys just talked about.
So let me ask you, Tim, a lot of times, we see this in our food products where you say they put in something, but there's always a trade-off, right? So I don't want you to give away the secret recipe here, but how is it that you can reduce that smell? And is there a trade-off that, I don't know, the corn is less sweet or whatever the case might be? How do you get to reduce that odor in the air?
There's no trade-off whatsoever. What we do by adding our bacteria and enzymes or other ingredients is all waste goes through a process of decomposition. Our products assist and aid that decomposition, and once we get it past a certain stage, it no longer emits odor. So if one of our bacteria goes and breaks down the waste, it no longer emits hydrogen sulfide. Well, if it has gotten it past that stage, it no longer puts odor out. So if it's past that stage, no more hydrogen sulfide. So when they're applying manure, a lot of times we have people. I just talked to a guy in Michigan who said that his neighbor's like, I didn't even know you put down manure this year.
That's great.
And that's what it does. It's just a biological decomposition. We accelerate the process so the manure is not nearly as active from that standpoint when you apply.
Oh, that's great. And now you sell to farmers all across the United States?
Yeah, and a couple of countries.
Oh, in a couple of different countries. Wow, that's great.
He mentioned the other day to me that he was in Puerto Rico when I called him. And so if you would elaborate, Tim, that you work like in Puerto Rico, too, with large farms down there.
Yeah, we just started with a cattle company that they have they produce high-end beef for that area, and they do everything from raising the cattle to processing and selling the cattle as their own brand. And so they have some issues with a lagoon.
Which is a manure pit. Which is called a manure pit.
And they want to knock down the odors, and so they've just begun to use our products down there. But we do have a couple of other lagoons there that we supply products to as well.
Now, for those listening who... Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Tim.
No, you're good.
For those farmers who might be listening, who maybe this is the first time they're hearing about this, is this a product you buy at the store and you buy it by the gallon, or do you come and meet directly with the farmer? Explain how this works to get it into the hand of our local farmers.
Yeah. One of the things we do is we don't sell to stores. Some of our competitors do. But this is a full-service process. And so normally we either work over the phone and try to understand the situation that they're dealing with, and then try and provide the accurate solution for their problem. Because if you just buy a product and you don't know how to use it correctly, your chances of success plummet, no matter what product you're talking about. So we're full service. We try to help everybody we talk to and walk them through and make sure that they walk away satisfied and glad that they did this.
Gotcha.
So when, Tim, do you think I can get you to come out to Oneida County? Because we do have some farms that are right next door to Utica, New Hartford, and some large population areas, Clinton, that this odor in the manure is becoming a big problem. And we would really like to get you to come out to Oneida County and meet with our Oneida County Soil Water Conservation agronomist, Jeff Miller at Cooperative Extension, and take you on a farm tour and show you these farms to see what you can offer our farms in Oneida County. When could I get you to come?
Well, I think you've got the fair coming up, don't you?
Yes, the Boonville Oneida County Fair is the last week in July.
How about the week after that?
Yep, first week in August.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
That sounds good. That's great.
You know, we'll get Bill Keeler because he's the one that started this.
Yes, he is the one who started it. Matter of fact, Bill was talking about it from the aspect of, a lot of people maybe in some of those communities you mentioned, New Hartford, Clinton, and even Utica, right? You have like the big graduation party or a big party in the summer, and sometimes it coincides with when a local farmer may have fertilized his field there. So you're having this party, and all of a sudden this scent comes wafting over, and everyone...
Everybody leaves.
So, that's well, certainly we'll get Keeler involved here because that was kind of the genesis of this conversation and having having you reach out to Tim. So, yeah, that's great, guys. If you guys are coordinating a trip here to visit the Oneida County Farms right here live on the air. Tim, what is the name of your product again, and where can people, if they can go online and maybe look up some more information about it?
Yeah, the company's name is Pit Charger, and that's our website name, and it's PIT and then Charger.
Pit Charger, very cool.
Yep.
Getting some text and some comments in here. Buckley, I can't read that on the air. I don't know why you'd send that to me, but I think Buck was recently at a party where maybe there was a smell wafting by. So it's pitcharger.com?
Yes.
Pitcharger.com. Tim, thank you so much for joining us. I love that we've got a local effort here, a local partnership going on. And thank you so much for the product that you make, because it makes the summer season smell a lot better around here.
We can help.
All right, thank you. That's Tim Kramer with Pit Charger. And if you want more information, go to pitcharger.com. Our man Ben here has been in conversations with Tim, and he's going to be, I guess, coming to the local area to visit some local farms and see what he can do to help out. We appreciate him calling in this morning. As I mentioned, those of you looking to win some free money this morning, be listening in the third hour. We're kicking our free money question of the day to about 8:30, and I can tell you this, it'll be worth more than $100. So make sure that you are listening next hour as well. It is First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM, and I did figure it out, folks. We are streaming this morning live on YouTube. We'll be back after this.
The Rome Capitol Theater presents.
I'm Tevye, a poor milkman trying to provide for his beautiful daughters and his lovely bride Golda. And how do we survive? That I can tell you in one word: tradition.
The Rome Capitol Theater presents the summer stage production of the musical Fiddler on the Roof, Thursday, July 13th through Saturday, July 15th. Advance sale tickets for Fiddler on the Roof are on sale at the Capitol Theater box office and online at romecapital.com.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor or a new physician, a private practitioner, maybe your doctor is retired or you're looking for something different, the answer is in Washington Mills at the Falcon Clinic. This is Bill Keeler. Call today. Sleep, fatigue, pain, ADHD. You're not feeling well. You need an annual checkup. You need a physical. And it goes even further if you needed counseling. There's counseling for everything from smoking addiction to substance abuse, acupuncture, all under one roof. And then there's the osteopathic approach. The area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, the Falcon Clinic, is accepting patients right now. Call them today. Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kuzminski, all there under one roof. Call 315-507-4751 for the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome. W295DI Utica, Rome. Your news, talk, and sports leader. A Town Square media station.
He stood shoulder to shoulder with our allies. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden just took a group photo with our allies at the NATO summit in Lithuania.
We're looking for a continued united NATO.
He will speak tomorrow about the U.S. and our allies' efforts to support Ukraine, as well as meet one-on-one with Ukrainian President Zelensky. The two have met before, including here in D.C., and while the U.S. remains a staunch supporter of Ukraine in its war against Russia, the Biden administration says it still does not believe Ukraine is ready to join NATO, at least at this point.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Zelensky tweeted it's absurd Ukraine might not get a NATO invite, saying it'll give Russia motivation to continue its terror. Vermont's under a state of emergency, parts of it underwater. Dozens of people needed to be rescued, just like Sunday in New York, where One woman was swept away and killed in Orange County. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne is there.
There are crumbling streets and debris spanning miles. The rushing water was powerful enough to mangle train tracks as it moved through kind of like a waterfall. That's how a lot of people described it. All through these towns, it brought in massive trees and then also boulders with it. So very dangerous scene. A lot of people felt trapped inside their homes.
Michael Burham still on the run after escaping Thursday from the Warren County, Pennsylvania jail. State Police Lieutenant Adam Reed just tells Fox, not only is Burham an outdoor survivalist, he may have some help.
He's local to the area there. He has ties to western, southern New York as well.
Former President Trump, the frontrunner in the Republican race trying to get that job back, wants to delay a trial in the classified documents case until after the 2024 election. His legal team saying it'll limit their ability to get a fair and impartial jury. The former president's pleaded not guilty to 37 criminal charges over classified materials he took after leaving office. This as another grand jury is being seated in Georgia to consider criminal charges against the former president or his allies over his efforts to overturn 2020 election results. America's listening to Fox News.
Consumer Cellular, you get the same exact coverage as the largest carriers for up to half the cost. Same thing, up to half the cost. Less money for the exact same thing. Hope this is clear enough. Consumer Cellular, when freedom calls, they're here to answer. Switch today and get a second month of service for free. Go to consumercellular.com/free month and enter promo code free month. Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 5 gigabyte data plan and unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023. Promotion subject to terms and conditions.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
All right, we have some sunshine out there and 67 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:03. Hoping to stay dry today. We'll take a closer look at your forecast coming up in just 2 minutes. This news update is brought to you by Home and Hospital Medical Supplies and Service, carrying a wide selection of home medical equipment. You can call them at 315-724-6767, online at h&hmedicalny.com. Well, our neighbors to the north, northwest, a state of emergency in place in Oswego County because of extreme flooding that has impacted those communities. Heavy rains caused roads to be covered in water and wash out in several locations, including the town of Parrish, Williamston, and the town of Mexico. People who still need to travel are urged to stay away from those spots that appear to be unsafe because there's no telling just how deep the water actually is. Despite ongoing court challenges aimed at stopping it, work now underway on an over $2 billion project to rebuild I-81. The Post-Standard reports that contractors are clearing trees, installing new GPS technology, and removing old sound barriers. Construction has started where I-81 meets I-481 north of Syracuse. The project will lead to a bridge that runs through downtown Syracuse being torn down and vehicles using rebuilt streets to get to their destinations. Well, the number of credit card skimmers that have been found at Walmart locations across central New York is on the rise. We told you about this story last week that one of those credit card skimmers was spotted at a Walmart location in the town of Granby along Route 3. Well, skimmers have now been found in East Syracuse, Oswego, Auburn, Camillus, Cortlandville, Waterloo, and Central Square. It's believed the skimmers were placed in stores during the July 4th holiday weekend. Still no word yet on how many customers may have had their credit card information stolen or at least put at risk. An Amtrak service between the Capital Region and New York City remains suspended indefinitely because of extreme flooding downstate. Storms on Sunday caused severe damage to the railroad tracks across the Hudson Valley region, and there are concerns about safety. No timetable just yet on when trains will be allowed to head down toward the Big Apple from the Capital District. The latest updates can be found at Amtrak.com or by following their social media accounts. As I mentioned, we're hoping to stay dry today. Fingers crossed we get the latest from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, breezy, turning very warm, but not too humid. An isolated shower storm, but most places will remain dry. A high of 88. Tonight remains mild, an isolated shower, low 62. And tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds with a few passing showers, but again, most places will remain dry. A high of 81. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
We have some sunshine and 67 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:06. All right, checking sports. There's a new home run daddy. He's the Vladdy home run daddy. And matter of fact, he's the first father-son combo to win the home run derby. Boy, I messed that up, didn't I? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is your 2023 home run derby champion. Vladdy Jr. joins Vladdy Daddy, if you will, to become the first father-son duo to ever win the event. The Blue Jays slugger mashed 25 home runs in the final round to take down Tampa Bay's Randy Arozarena, who hit 23. Guerrero Jr. began the night by eliminating Mookie Betts. He also took down Mariners outfielder Julio Rodriguez, and the hometown hero Rodriguez actually set a single-round record in the home run derby as he smashed 41 home runs in the quarterfinals as he knocked out the Mets' Pete Alonso, who crushed 21 long balls. Now coming up tonight, it's the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The American League will be going for its 10th straight victory over the National League when the two sides square off at T-Mobile Park. The Atlanta Braves have a Major League leading 8 players suiting up for the National League tonight. The Yankees making a move during the All-Star break, but it's to the coaching staff. 49-year-old Sean Casey has been working as an analyst for Major League Baseball Network. He fills a role as the hitting coach for the Yankees now. Of course, Casey was a longtime Major Leaguer himself. He hit Major League average of .302 over his dozen seasons in the league with Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Boston. Elsewhere, the Knicks return to Summer League basketball action tomorrow night. New York seeks its first victory of the Summer League season when they take on the Orlando Magic at Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas. Let's see here. Also wanted to mention the Spurs' Victor Wembanyama being shut down for the Summer League. He'll now focus on the regular season. He totaled 27 points and 12 rebounds in a loss to the Blazers in his final game of the Summer League on Sunday. The 19-year-old French product, of course, was taken first overall in the draft this year. He says he's just glad that he can shift his focus to the regular season. And he says he just wants to hoop, work out, and lift weights. WIBX News Time is 8:08. We have a busy hour coming up. Stay with us. First news, Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950 AM, 106.9 FM. And we say good morning to those watching us on YouTube this morning as well.
Hey, Mom. Hey. I completely forgot about Jackie's birthday tomorrow.
Okay. Sorry. Hello.
Hi, Mommy. Are you still at Kenny's?
We've got this. Kenny Drugs. We got this. And that.
In Sarah's Flooring Outlet is the area's leading flooring store for Pergo Extreme, and Sarah's is the area's leading flooring store for anything flooring. Hardwoods, tile, carpeting, they have you covered with the largest inventory. You're going to get the best selection, the best price, and on Pergo Extreme by Mohawk, it's a guarantee. They have the 60-mile radius deal, and that is, it's a guarantee where you get the best price on Pergo Extreme anywhere within a 60-mile radius of the store. Pergo Extreme from Inceras offers deeper visuals, a better protection, and a deeper warranty. It's worry-free for life, 100% dent-proof, waterproof, kid-proof, pet-proof, only at Inceras. We had hardwood floors put in by a craftsman from Inceras Flooring Outlet. They're beautiful, and the service was top-notch. If you're looking for flooring, why would you go anywhere else? You would go to the place where they have the largest inventory in all of Central New York. It's Inceras Flooring Outlet. And you can get 6 months interest-free financing right now in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and always online at InSarah'sFlooringOutlet.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
Go green, they say. But how? Start with your biggest investment, your home. Invest in the future with a new water furnace geothermal heating and cooling system by City Suburban. We at City Suburban have converted hundreds of customers to green energy to heat and cool their home. And we can do the same for you. Now is the best time with the New York State Clean Heat Energy Program, where you can save up to $12,000 while funds are available on your water furnace geothermal system, plus a 30% federal tax credit. They say go green. We say go Geo.
Hi, this is Chris from City Suburban. There's never been a better time than ever to go green. With the New York State Clean Heat Energy rebates and federal tax credit, you can save thousands on the installation, plus save for years to come on energy costs. And like always, every installation comes with City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guaranteed. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com for more information.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, well, this is the Keeler in the Morning show, but Bill not with us this week, so we've got some guest hosts joining us. And, of course, our guest host this morning is Ben Simons, an Oneida County farmer who has put together a great buffet of information as it relates to ag. And we're going to wash it down here this morning with a nice glass of milk. Audrey Donahoe is president of the Northeast Dairy Association. She's on the line and joins us now. We say good morning to Audrey. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us. And we're talking about milk, very important when it comes to nutrition. Personally, I'm a huge milk lover myself. Some people think it's crazy, but like if I'm out there, now I don't do any farm work like Ben does, but if I'm out there mowing my lawn on a hot summer day, I come in and I will chug down a glass of milk because I find it so refreshing and it's nice and cold. And but anyway, we're talking about the Northeast Dairy Association, what it is you folks do, and how important milk is. Ben?
Good morning, Audrey.
Good morning, Ben.
So, yeah, if you would, as you know, there's been some concern in the farm community and the general public that they don't see the got milk ads anymore. And if you would just sort of elaborate to that and then talk about the school programs that we're trying to do.
Sure. So my husband and I have a dairy farm in Clayville. We have 6 children and 9 grandchildren. So I'm very connected to to milk, the product we produce, the importance of the nutritional value of the product that we produce. And about 3 years ago, I became president of American Dairy Association Northeast. And there was a lot of concern about, where our promotion money is going to. It's totally farmer funded. We also have a farmer board of directors. They oversee all of the programs, the spending, our budgets. And what we've kind of changed over to is more of a plan where we can reach those consumers that'll be our future consumers. So we do a lot of social media ads and reaching out, and not only to that Gen Z generation, because they're the ones that we want to target, But, to any consumer that has questions about our farm practices, we reach out to different organizations, dietitians, pediatric associations, any medical associations, because they know the value and importance of milk and all of the essential nutrients and vitamins that it provides. And it needs to be a part of the children's lives because it's essential to them growing up. They are also our future consumers. So, we kind of changed over to a strategic business plan, and advertising really wasn't giving us our best bang for our buck. So that's why we've evolved into social media, working with the schools, developing relationships with health professionals, any way that we can make an impact with them. And, they're the ones that are out there making sure that everybody knows the importance and the value of milk and dairy products.
Yep. And no, I thank you for that. And if you would talk about the campaign that us farmers are trying to do with getting milk into schools.
Yeah, so actually, in addition to becoming president of ADAIN, prior to that, I serve as National Dairy Council chairwoman. And actually, I'm at an event right now, the School Nutrition Association Annual National Conference. And that's a relationship that we have had for many years. National Dairy Council has been, an organization for over 100 years. And, and as far as being in the schools with the kids and being a part and partnership with the National Association, the schools, they understand what it is to make sure that it's crucial we have dairy and dairy products in these kids' diets. It's a very important part of their learning, their developing. We've seen it so many times when they are fed and they have a nutritional package of a great breakfast, a great lunch, with all the, the different food guide pyramids. They have to follow that because it's regulated by USDA. They see the cognitive skills improve with the kids. They see the test skills improve with the kids. The behavior is so much better. And, there's so many kids that is the only meal that they get. The nutritional meal they can get is within the schools. So we have such a great relationship with them, and they're so pro-dairy. They're just great people to work with, and they're making sure that our product is recognized, that we have dairy within these kids' diets, and they love milk, and the kids love the milk. So they're excited to work with us to make sure we keep that in these schools and with these kids in their diets. And, we've even expanded with them to summer meals. Some of these schools, they do dinner and they do snacks to go home. They do weekend meals. Like, they're doing the best they can to make sure these kids are fed with really good nutritional meals, including dairy and dairy products.
Yep. No, and I'm glad you brought that up, especially like Jeff just said, that when he gets done doing a workout and everything, he runs in and has a glass of milk. And I've been trying to tell everybody that's involved with the Boilermaker, the quickest way to regenerate your body is with chocolate milk.
Yes, and we actually have a program, Refuel with Chocolate Milk, and we use that a lot with the athletic associations that we work with. And, and it works. It's great. So it's another great way to promote our product.
Yeah, no, it is a great thing. When I was I was a CrossFitter for a while, and I'll tell you, like down the road here at Mohawk Valley Wellness, they do a great job there. And a lot of the men and women who work out there, they'll bring it right with them. They have a nice glass of chocolate milk there after the workout. Yeah, they love it. They love it. It's one of the things that John, who runs the place, I remember him saying when it comes to refueling and things like that, he's like, don't underestimate chocolate milk. It refuels your body with a lot of those nutrients and the things that you're burning off during some of those high-intensity workouts. So,
and especially whole milk, because they didn't skim anything out of it. If you want to go into that, Audrey, for a moment and talk about whole milk.
So one of the parts of both organizations that I represent, we're overseen by USDA. And, these schools that we work with, they totally depend on reimbursement from USDA within the school feeding. So, we have to work along with those guidelines as we're overseen by that. So one of the areas that we can't go into is any kind of lobbying, and that's as far as if I have my Dane president hat on. But, as a dairy farmer, I totally agree that whole milk, it's delicious, and, it's what we're used to. And, either way, you're being provided with the essential nutrients and vitamin, whether it's the 2% or the whole. But, yes, that would be something that would be great down the pike, but I'm saying that as a dairy farmer.
Gotcha. Well, is there anything else that we had to touch on before?
Thank you very much, Audrey, and thank you for calling from Colorado. Thank you.
Yes.
I think
where this annual meeting is, down here in Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful state. And thank you very much for reaching out to me, Ben, and having me.
That's Audrey Donahoe. She's the president of the Northeast Dairy Association. And I didn't realize, I love the fact that she's a dairy farmer right in Clayville. Literally just down the road. So that's tremendous. Thank you so much, Audrey, for joining us. And we will transition quickly here to the Commissioner of Ag in New York State, Richard Ball. He joins us now on the phone. Good morning, Commissioner Ball. How are you?
Well, good morning. I feel great and hope you are the same. Yeah.
Yes.
Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Ben. Joined the conversation there with Audrey, who's an exceptional dairy farmer and a great leader.
Yeah, thank you. And so how's everything going with, I'm going to let you carry it. I'm very honored that you took time to call in, Richard. And so go ahead with July is ice cream month and June was dairy month. And how are we doing for dairy farmers in New York State?
Well, yeah, thanks so much. And again, thanks, Ben and Jeff, for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I have to just stop for a second and say that, we're paying quite close attention to our dairy farmers and all our farmers around the state who got an unprecedented amount of rainfall in the last storms here. So I spent quite a lot of time on the phone in the Hudson Valley and in a little bit west of you in Ontario County and Orange County as well. The governor has been all three places yesterday. And so we're paying pretty close attention. We're worried about the effect on our dairy farms a little bit, although agriculture, most of our farms seem to be in fairly good shape. We're still going to assess the situation today with Farm Service Agency, our Soil and Water Conservation District people. But DOT and Homeland Security and us have been paying close attention there all across the state. For dairy, obviously, there's some standing fields, fields with standing water, and I should say, Ben, I'm sure you know what that looks like.
I do. It's not pretty.
But, yeah. So I think we're all excited about getting back to work. We've got a beautiful sunny day here in Schoharie. But hay crops, getting that forage in is so important this time of year, as you know. But anyway, so we're paying attention to that. But June, we were all across the state, visited so many dairy farms, visited a great number of processing facilities. We're still doing that. We're going to continue that on. We started, Ben, you and I got to see each other for some ice cream out in your neighborhood.
Yep.
It was pretty nice to kick off July as ice cream month. So we've been very busy in trying to highlight the importance of milk in young people's diets. And Audrey did a nice job pointing that out. The vitamin D and the calcium that's needed at a young age can't be discounted at all. So
Richard,
we're kind of celebrating it. Yeah.
Can I ask you? It's funny. The Keeler, who is the host of the show normally, he and I will have these conversations about, a study comes out and it says, a cup of coffee a day is good for you. Then the study comes out and it says a cup of coffee a day isn't good for you. And then they, you name it. You name it with the product that some people say it's good for you and others say it isn't. And then I've read recently, and I don't know how valid these are, some people will come out and say, dairy products or milk actually strips your body of the calcium instead of providing it with more calcium, which blows a gasket in my brain. I don't quite understand that. But can you give the position and the stance from as the New York State Ag Commissioner?
Yeah, so we go through this every now and then, don't we? Coffee's bad for you. Coffee's good for you. Eggs,
Wine's good for you.
same
Wine's
thing.
bad for you. Eggs is the same
That's
thing.
right.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I will say this: as a kid who grew up, milking cows and getting pretty well acquainted with our dairy industry and our processing industry, I feel pretty comfortable in saying, and I think Audrey would appreciate this: milk is unqualified, awesome for our young people, most especially those early years when they're growing and forming bone strength. The calcium and vitamin D that milk provides can't be discounted or under thought about, because it's so important to get that in there for bone strength and structure later on. I have a good friend of mine, grew up on a dairy farm, became an orthopedic surgeon, and actually started a dairy business in the Hudson Valley. And as an orthopedic surgeon, he said he can tell when he's operating on a patient, he can tell immediately whether they had whole milk before they were 14 years of age.
Wow.
Inadequate supply to develop the strength. He can tell in the strength of their bones. And I trust him, I believe him, and I wholeheartedly think that milk is not one of those things that comes and goes in terms of whether or not it's good for you. It's good for you, period.
Yep, and Richard, I want to. This is a good format to say that the dairy industry here in New York is alive and well and expanding. With your staff and the governor's staff, you just landed that Fairlife plant by Coca-Cola, I believe it is. If you want to take a minute and tell what positive that's going to have for the next generation for us, dairy farmers.
Sure. And I think it's important to note also there are some people that have trouble handling lactose, and are lactose intolerant. And the dairy industry is working really hard on that. We have products that, have had the lactose removed from them. And Fairlife is a great example. Fairlife, great company, has a product where they've removed the lactose and they've added and fortified some protein in it. And this is kind of exciting because this is research that was done at Cornell University. And Fairlife, pretty successful company located in Michigan. They were looking to expand, and in our region. They looked at a number of states in the Northeast. The governor got directly involved in this. She wanted very much to make sure this was a plant that would be located in New York, where we could expand our processing capacity here. And I look at it as a commissioner, and I think we need to look at this as a state, as a legacy plant for New York. It's a $500 million investment in the Rochester, New York area, and this will be a legacy plant because it's going to ensure the utilization of Class 1 milk, for a long time to come, 50 or 100 years. Great product, great market here in New York. And it'll ensure the need for milk supply at dairy farmers to keep producing that high-quality milk. They're a very high-quality outfit. They're bringing a lot of jobs, but the most important impact is it's going to ensure processing capacity here in the state to utilize the milk that we make. Very exciting effort. They hope to break ground this fall. We've been in very close contact, as is the governor, with the CEO there. They talk regularly. We talk regularly. So this is a great asset for New York. And just a little over a year ago, we had another pretty big success for New York Dairy, and that was the Great Lakes cheese expansion down in Chautauqua County. Both of these plants are going to use somewhere around 2 billion pounds of milk from New York dairy farmers. So they believe in our future. Wow. I sure do. And that's a great thing to see happen.
You say 2 billion pounds?
Yes, 2 billion with a B.
Toledo.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great
whole lot
thing.
Of milk. Yeah, it's a great thing. And, some of the things we learned, if we go back to the last couple of years going through COVID, the importance of having that food supply system right here in our state.
Right.
Not depending on another country or another region to supply us with food if we go through something like that ever again. So I think we identified a real need to make sure that, we have the product here, and we also have the capacity to produce that, turn it into a marketable item for our families. So pretty exciting news, I think.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, if there is a silver lining from the pandemic, I think part of the thing that we can all realize is that when you're waiting on your products to be shipped from whatever country and that shipping line gets backed up, it's so much better from a health standpoint, I think, in a lot of cases. But from a convenience standpoint, from when you need it, when it's a necessity, it's right there for you. When it comes from your backyard or your neighborhood or your home state, instead of relying on everything to be shipped from a different country. And we can start certainly with the food that we grow and produce here. And I guess that's when it becomes part of the nutritional aspect of it. But maybe the silver lining in COVID is that we should rely on our own farmers and workers instead of those in China or different other countries. So.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. We better have a resilient and a responsive food system right here. And it had its challenges, and certainly COVID highlighted, a number of those challenges when, probably half of the product we produce here goes into the food service world, institutions, schools, restaurants, et cetera. And we saw that valve get shut off. And so we scrambled around with the Nourish New York program, and were able to redirect a lot of that product to go into our regional food banks, the emergency food and feeding system that we have in the state, which is quite remarkable in itself. And so we're able to, get resupplied. Both ends of that food chain got hurt so bad. Our producers who lost a lot of markets, and our consumers who couldn't find the product. So connecting those dots and noticing the weaknesses in the food chain, which we're going to work at with some of the things we're doing, expanding processing capacity, et cetera. And I will say also on the national level, Secretary Vilsack from USDA, our Secretary of Agriculture, looking at transforming our food system, as we are here in New York. So we're in alignment with them and the importance of making sure there are markets for our farmers and making sure that it's not just food security, but nutrition security, the right kind of foods for our consumers. So,
yep,
I'm kind of optimistic. We got to keep that lesson in front of us as we go forward here for the next decades.
Thank you, Richard. And I just would like the listeners to know that you are an actual farmer. You're not a politician by heart, and you didn't never dreamed about being in the position you're in. And the respect and the following that you have in the agricultural community is unprecedented. And I just want the listeners to know that we are so proud of the Commissioner of Agriculture we have in New York State, Richard Ball, because he is an actual hands-on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground farmer that holds a very prestigious job. And I want to thank you, Richard, for taking time out of your farm to hold this important position. And I just want you to know on this program that we thank you for all you do to represent the farmers and the agricultural community of New York State.
Well, you're very kind, Ben. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to knock the mud off my boots this morning and put on a tie and head to Albany as soon as we get done here. But appreciate that very much, Ben, and certainly the opportunity to talk with your listeners this morning.
Thank you, Richard, and we look forward to seeing you at the State Fair.
Yes, we do.
If not before, at the Oneida, yeah.
The Oneida County Fair.
Oh, you're coming to my Oneida County Fair, are you, Richard?
It's been a kind of regular thing, and
I'm so honored.
This radio program knows they have a standing invitation for a tour at the State Fair.
Excellent. I'm going to take you up on that offer. We'll see if we can do a special broadcast from out there maybe as well. Commissioner Ball, we will follow up with you on that. That is Richard Ball, the Commissioner of Ag here in the state of New York, and thank you for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you. Look forward to talking again.
We'll take a quick time out.
Thank you, Richard.
Much more to get to, plenty of ag, and a free money question of the day. Stay tuned for that. No Keeler, but it's the Keeler in the Morning Show on WIBX 950 AM and 106.9 FM.
The Utica Stampede and Rodeo and Expo comes back to the Adirondack Bank Center August 4th and 5th. 2 days of rodeo fun with 8 different events with over 30 of the best bull riders in the Northeast competing for large cash prizes. Get your tickets now at EmpireStateTix.com, in person at the Adirondack Bank Center box office, or over the phone by calling 315-790-9070. It's the Utica Stampede and Rodeo, presented by Don's Ford Clinton Tractor, and best enjoyed with Coors Banquet, the official beer of the rodeo.
Do you feel like your current checking account just isn't working for you anymore? Maybe monthly fees are cutting into your already tight budget, or maybe you're looking for more convenience with additional bells and whistles that allow you to accomplish more with less work. Whatever your reason, it might be a great time for you to check out the lineup of accounts at Adirondack Bank. From no-frills basic accounts to paperless high-yield accounts, we're sure to have the perfect solution for your needs. We also offer a large selection of extras such as customizable debit cards, electronic statements, online banking and bill pay, mobile banking, and mobile deposit. We also have a great client services team ready to answer your questions with our live chat. Visit our website at www.adkbank.com. Use the checking comparison tool and see which options are best for you. That's adkbank.com. Member FDIC.
Warner Sales and Service. Building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. If you are push mowing your yard, using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at warnerss.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Attention, your money is now controlled by the U.S. government.
Picture a world where your every purchase is monitored, tracked, and controlled by those in power to suppress the freedoms of those they see fit. Hi, my name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. And right now, I've become very focused on the impending rollout of the central bank digital currency. This is not a work of fiction. It's a terrifying reality looming on the horizon. But there is a bit of good news. I've partnered with Advantage Gold to offer you a solution. They are specialists in converting your traditional assets, like those inside an IRA or 401k, into tangible assets such as physical gold and silver. Don't allow your money to be controlled. Claim your free gold protection kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor.
Call 800-900-8000.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Of course, Bill is on a vacation this week, but we are filling in. Oneida County farmer Ben Simons, our guest host this morning. We're going to transition quickly to some entertainment on the stage. We're joined by Peter Loftus, the director over at the Rome Capitol Theater. Of course, RomeCapital.com is where you can get your information on upcoming shows. And among the upcoming shows they have is Fiddler on the Roof. Good morning, Peter. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great, thanks.
Tell us about the upcoming performance, how people get tickets, and then I'll have you introduce our guests, our special guests that we have in studio.
Sure. Yeah, Fiddler on the Roof will be this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30. And we have a cast of over 70 people, local performers, incredible talent all the way around. And Bonnie Hibbert is our musical director, and Kristen Coulter is our conductor. Patrick St. Thomas is our choreographer, and we're having a ball. And this classic is something not to be missed. We have wonderful leads, including Rick Studley as Tevye, who played the role a long time, well, A while ago.
But do we go that far back? About 42 years I've been waiting to play
no
this role
kidding.
again. Yes.
So it's been a while, and we have Jessica Wilk, who plays Golda.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Having an amazing time with this beautiful family at Rome Capitol Theater. It's a great time.
Talk about how long you've been working together to get this performance right. And can you give us a little history? You played this role 42 years ago.
Yes, absolutely. I did this my senior year in high school. Ironically, I'm bringing this back 42 years later on the same stage that I played it originally, and that's exciting for me.
Wow.
I've been dying to do this as an age-appropriate adult, and I'm having the time of my life.
That's great.
Same. Golda's an absolute dream role. I've never done Fiddler on the Roof before, and when I heard Rome Capitol was doing it, couldn't wait, dropped everything, and it's also a dream because my daughter, who just graduated from Proctor High School, will be heading to college in the fall and gets to be in the ensemble with me in this musical. So it's again, big happy family, and it's a great show. They sound amazing. The ensemble sounds beautiful.
Well, how appropriate too that you're sharing this with your family, and the story is all about
all
family.
About family.
So.
Sure. How long have you guys been working together to put on this show this coming
just
weekend?
a few weeks. Yeah. This was a quick one. When did we begin?
Oh.
It's about a 4-week turnaround,
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to start a new show on Sunday after this one closes, and we have 3 weeks for that one.
I can't believe
Oh
that.
wow! What is that? Can you?
The
clue
next
us?
one, sure, I can. The Little Mermaid.
Oh, The Little Mermaid.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that. Like I say, Sunday we start into that one.
Yeah. Played by the beautiful Hannah DiStefano, who we've had the pleasure of working with. She's going to sound gorgeous, so definitely go see Hannah play Ariel as well.
Right.
All right, but this is Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
It's coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 7:30 performance each night. Tell us more about the show. Tell us how we can get tickets and be a part of this.
Well, to get tickets, all you have to do, you can try calling the box office or romecapital.com, and you can purchase your tickets right online. So that makes it a lot easier. It's a great setup there. And we have a live orchestra, which is incredible. Most of them are local music teachers, and it's just a joy to listen to.
They sound phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Real professional work.
Great. Again, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7:30 each night. Tickets right through the box office. Do you buy them at the door when you walk up?
You sure can. You sure can. But they are reserved tickets, so if you get them early, you're going to get a better seat.
Great. And I just got a message in here that Officer Rob says hello.
We'll tell him I said hello as well.
I think you just did. That was Oneida County.
That's great.
That was Oneida County Sheriff Rob Maciel saying hello this morning. Jessica, Rick, Peter, thank you guys. Thank you so much, guys. And we look forward to the performance again. RomeCapital.com is where you can get more information. The Rome Capitol Theater hosting Fiddler on the Roof, presenting Fiddler on the Roof Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 each night. And we'll see you at the theater.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
L'chaim.
A quick timeout. We'll come back with more. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
Ever heard of shingles? Kinda sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Shingles is a wicked painful rash that can last for weeks. People who've had it say it's the worst pain ever. It can even cause nerve damage. Shingles happens when the chickenpox virus you had as a kid gets reactivated. It's more common in people 50 plus and in those with weakened immunity. A vaccine is available right now that's 90% effective. So see your provider, talk to your Kinney pharmacist, or make an appointment at KinneyDrugs.com. You do not want shingles. Trust me.
Enjoy a group outing this summer at Saratoga Racecourse. Reservations are now available for the climate-controlled paddock suite, accommodating 80 guests. And for large-scale corporate gatherings at the rail at the 1863 Club, head down the stretch to the Stella Artois Spa Verandas for groups of 50, or tailgate at the Turn with a carload of friends. For casual outdoor gatherings undercover, featuring buffet lunch with Prosecco offerings. Enjoy the Mionetto Easy Goer. Visit Naira.com to book your Saratoga group outing today.
Summertime is the best time to build memories in Herkimer County, New York's Experience County. From the Mohawk Valley to the Adirondack Mountains, Herkimer County offers charming communities, festive events, fun adventures, and great family activities. Erie Canal history? Check. Farm markets and unique shops? Check. Outdoor recreation and New York's #1 water theme park? Check. See all the possibilities online at visitherkimercounty.com. Herkimer County. I love New York.
Hi, I'm Max Carbone with Power Sports of Utica. For the month of July, we are offering 1.99% on all 2023 non-cab Can-Am side-by-side models and up to $1,500 off Kawasaki jet ski models only at Power Sports of Utica.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson of Utica. 50% off of all footwear. 40% off of all camp chairs, table sets. Buy one, get one, 75% off of hoodies. And Bike Night, July 14th. Plenty of cold refreshments.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, back here, First News Keeler in the morning on WIBX. Thank you so much, Ben, for lining up such an informative show today.
Yep.
I appreciate that. And we're now speaking with Marty Broccoli, who has some info for us on ag development and economic development with ag. And Marty joins us now on the phone as well.
Good morning, Marty.
Yes, good morning. Morning, Jeff. Good morning, Ben. Thanks for having us on.
Sure. So, quickly, because we got the county executive waiting on the line, and he wants to chat too, and I'm very honored to have both of you. So, Marty, what do we got going on in Oneida County with agricultural economic development? We always hear about the hospital and Nexus and Wolf Speed, but the general public doesn't hear about the agricultural programs that are out there. So go ahead, Marty.
Well, because of the shortness of time and we want to get the county executive on, maybe I just can do a really quick overview of the county for your listeners so they understand who we are and why we farm the way we farm. So in terms of geography, Oneida County is around 840,000 acres. And then we back out the waterways of Oneida Lake and Delta. We're at about 810,000 acres. Our farmers farm around 250,000 of those acres.
So more than 25%.
Our farmers are actually owned and take care of almost 30% of the land in Oneida County. And besides the impact that they have, the type of farming we do, when you look at Oneida County, because of our topography, we're rolling hills, traditionally dairy farming fit really nice. We don't have flat land where you get big combines and have all the big. So 60% of our ag sales are in dairy. We have a pretty significant produce business. So we're very diversified. And what's really unique with Oneida County, we're the only county in the state where agriculture matches population perfectly. Up like Lewis County to the north of us has more cows than they have people. Other counties are just loaded in the Adirondacks with forest. Downstate, it's people. We're 1-to-1 in terms of farmland and the population. So it makes us very, very unique. And quickly, we just got a grant for Farm to School. We want to thank the commissioner and governor. And it's very exciting. We're going to be working with the City of Utica Public Schools and try and get them to 30% of their purchases will be from local farms to feed our children.
That's
and that's going to
great.
have a great economic impact.
Yeah, that's tremendous, Marty. We've talked about this a few times this morning, but quickly, the nutrition and the health benefits from not eating all this processed food so much that we rely on these days, stuff that comes from the farm, and it's great to get into the belly of kids when they're young because it not only does it fuel their day, but then they start to rely on that and look for that when they're in the grocery store someday themselves.
Statistically, healthy food actually makes our children, learn a lot better. The statistics are pretty alarming when you give them nutritional food. So we're really pleased with the city of Utica now that this is with the 7,000 lunches they serve. This is going to have a great impact, and then hopefully we're going to get Rome on board with 16 other school districts. So these next couple years, we think just feeding our children is going to really have a great collateral impact for all farmers and the county.
All right.
Thank you, Marty.
Marty Broccoli with Cornell Cooperative Extension. Thank you so much. Is there a place we can go online for more information?
Yes, well, all morning, CCE Oneida County, and go under agriculture and then ag economic development. And please read our farmland protection plan. All the communities need the information on the history of the county and what each community. It's a great read. It's on our website. And the solar is becoming a major issue. So people need to get engaged and follow what their towns are up to with these big solar arrays coming into the county.
Yeah, that's an important topic, and we need to follow up with Marty in the future to talk more about that as well. Marty Broccoli, thank you so much for your time today. We go now to Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti, who joins us, about once a week here on the program. And Tony, I have to tell you that Ben Simons is no Lance and Lee. He actually thinks you're great. Ben's a big fan of yours. He thinks you're great.
Yeah, it's good. I think Ben's great too. It's great, and I was going to say it's great to join the Ben Simons in the morning program. That's what I think.
Yes.
See it.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm gonna text Keeler in Paris and tell him. I don't know. Got some competition here. So.
Yeah, Ben's done a tremendous job today, not only with the guests, but with the information that he's provided as well. Ben, I'll kick it over to you for our final segment.
So I just want to say publicly, with all the listeners out there, that our county executive, Tony Pacenti, he'll be the first to admit that he doesn't know anything about agriculture. He'll be the first to tell you that. But the thing that admires me about him, or I admire about Tony, is that he surrounds himself with people that are knowledgeable, and he surrounds himself with people like myself in the farm community and says, what do we need to do in Oneida County to be farm friendly? So I want to thank you, Tony, publicly for your support of the agricultural community and everything that you do, and I'll let you take it from there.
Well, I appreciate that, Ben, and I constantly, and I don't think anybody's ever heard me say otherwise, that agriculture is still our number one industry. There's no, and you just heard Marty Broccoli, and obviously Richard Ball, who's a class act, from State Ag and Mohawk Valley farmer, actually down in Schoharie. I mean that all recognize that, and you can't be whether a county executive or a legislator and not understand the impact of agriculture is the number one industry in the state. And, the number of acres Marty expressed, and Ben, we always go back and forth on the number. What's the number of actual farms? I mean, because the last count was, I don't know, really nearing 300, or is it over that? I'm trying to.
Yeah, what we're doing, Tony, is we're waiting for the NASS, the National Agricultural Statistics Service, to give us an accurate number. But dairy farmers themselves is somewhere between 160 to 180 right now.
80, right.
And then if you add all the other farms like beef farmers and vegetable farmers, you're probably up into that 300 range, easy enough.
No question. I mean, so we have, my administration, I'm proud of what we've been able to do working with Cornell Cooperative Extension, with the Farm Bureau, with people like Ben. Obviously, Ben's been a key piece of this, with helping us, craft the policies and different activities. But, we had talked about the public market, and, we've been talking about, dairy, and established a sustainability plan a couple of years ago, and really, tried to, provide more education in our schools. So, we're invested. And I know that we talk a lot about technology. We talk, as Ben said, we talk about tourism, but ag tourism is a big part of what we do. That's what the public market was all about, several years ago when I created that. And, we've got our challenges, and farmers have always, have always, in terms of the economy and the challenges that go along with it, and, the pricing and all of those pieces have great challenges among them. And, whatever we could do to make it a little bit easier. It's tough for us to reach in on some of these things, especially when it comes to the price of milk and dairy and other pieces. But, we've been trying as a county to really, institute, some different programming and other measures, for safety, for, working, with Ben and the sheriff and so many others. But, I wanted to touch, I guess, and I don't know if I didn't hear the whole show this morning, Ben, but I know that Marty talked a little bit about solar, and I know that's a big concern for all of us, especially when it comes to, our agricultural lands.
Yeah.
And that's why I really want to, I spoke a lot about that in my State of the County address, and that's a big concern, just given the way the state is, have been, trying to take the local control away from us and from municipalities on sightings of solar panels throughout, that we really have to be, cognizant of and really have to be proactive in dictating literally where we want to see those. Obviously, we can't tell anybody where to sell or who to sell their land to or lease their land to, but we do need to protect. It's part of, and it is part of farmland protection. But we do need to protect, the
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Perfectly,
absolutely.
Perfectly well said. Perfectly well said, Tony. Well said, Tony. We could make a whole show out of this, protecting farmland and the solar panels, because people at some point in time, the listeners out there need to know, and Tony's very cognizant, or County Executive Tony Pacini is very cognizant about it, that at some point in time you cover up all our viable farmland with solar panels. Where are we going to get our food?
Right.
And as Marty just told you, we're very unique here in Oneida County that we have 1 acre of farmland for a resident in Oneida County.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And
we
so,
can't lose that. And that's important to maintain. I think, the issue is about sustainability on all of these areas and hope, possible expansion as we go forward. But I think we really got to look at, you're seeing solar pop up, and while, look, renewable energy is important, and it's important for all of us,
sure.
But, we have to look at what the cost is. And, I've talked about this, Jeff, on the show before, but, I also, I think, we like to see these, on brownfield sites and
right.
and old
land that you can't use.
Non-prime soil.
Yeah, right.
We can't keep, we can't keep filling up, valuable farmland, with solar panels that, obviously have a function, but take away a major piece of our economy.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we're just about out of time. Tony, thank you so much for
problem.
calling in this morning.
Thank
we
you,
will chat
Tony.
with
Thank you, Ben.
again.
Thank you, Tony.
I believe next week. I've got to. I'll follow up with your office on that. I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but thank you so much. We will be hearing from you again soon. And Ben, a special thank you to you. You did an excellent job. As a matter of fact, when they kick me out of here again, I'm going to recommend you to take my spot because you did such a good job today. So,
well,
Ben
I want
Simons,
to thank WIBX for appreciating agriculture. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's so important. And before we go, we got to get one more plug for you. For those who you were talking about the wood business and selling cords of wood, how do they reach out to you if they're interested in buying some wood, either this summer for campfires or maybe they want it to heat the house in the winter?
Call my home at 315-831-5087 or go on Facebook and look me up, and you can communicate with me through Facebook.
Ben Simons.
Benjamin Simons.
Benjamin Simons on Facebook. All right, WIBX 950 Utica Rome. We're back tomorrow.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump, who's running to get that job back, wants the classified documents criminal case against him to be put off until after the 2024 election. His aide, Walt Nauta, a co-defendant, wants that same delay.
The lawyers say such a timeline is unreasonable, arguing there isn't enough time to prepare, sifting through vast documents the government spent years gathering. They also claim that finding jurors in the midst of a presidential election would